Why beat one opponent
when you can beat two? Three teams.
That's big. That's massive.
Two halves.
One match.
Bowled him. He's got one.
a format
You have never seen before.
What a magnificent night this has been.
Like literally, you've never seen it before. It's new.
And the last batter
Stands.
this format? Who thought of the rules?
Hello everybody and welcome to the Solidarity Cup watch along with Forever Sports. My name is Stephen Pettitt and I'm going to be taking you through the next what I imagine is about 3 hours of cricket, which is really exciting. Cricket is back in the country, which is the main thing, and it's back with a brand new format as we debut three-team cricket, which is quite an interesting idea. It's the whole idea is that it's going to be a match that is going to be divided into two halves. Every team is going to have 12 innings to bat, divided into two sections of six. So every team bats 6 overs, and after that they look at it, and whoever's got the most runs then bats first in the second half, followed by second most runs, so that in theory it's a bit of a chase throughout the end. So it's a very different format, only 8 players per team, which means bowler, wicketkeeper and 6 fielders. 2 teams on a field at a time, and the third team in the dugout. So it's completely different to what we're used to, but it should be a lot of fun. And I think that's what we need to think about today, is that we need to keep an open mind. We need to think that this is all about raising money for those affected by the COVID-19 disease. We need to think about the fact that cricket is back and that's the main thing. And yeah, so let's not get bogged down in the format. Welcome to everybody that is watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes, I am South African, proudly South African, hence you can see all the different South African memorabilia in and around the studio. So yeah, and you are backing De Kock's team, right, to Quinny's Kites. Quinny unfortunately not playing today. He pulled out this morning because of what they listed as unforeseen circumstances. So he is not playing, and his team will be captained by Tim Babuma. It is about to get underway here. We've had the national anthems and a moment of silence. The Kites are on the field. They will be bowling first, and let's just take you through the team. So Themba Bavuma is going to be captaining him instead of Quinton de Kock, who had to pull out. He will be joined by the likes of John Smuts, Dave Miller, Dwayne Pretorius, Luto Sapamla, Bjorn Hendricks, Anruf Nokia, and Ryan Rickleton, who has come in, who's a very exciting young wicketkeeper from the Lions. They will be coached by Wandile Gwavu, who's just recently been named Coach of the Year at the CSA Awards, so a big future from him. And then we have got the Kingfishers, who are batting first. They will be captained by Reza Hendricks, along with Heinrich Klaassen, Janneman Malan, Faf du Plessis, the youngsters Tando Ntini, Gerald Coetzee, and Glenton Stearman and Tabrez Shamsi. They will be coached by Protea women's player Mignon Duprier. And then starting in the dugout today is AB de Villiers, and we'll go through their team now. Players taking a knee, and of course the whole Black Lives Matter thing. Let's not, I don't want to dwell too much on that today, because I think this is the wrong sort of platform to talk about it. But yeah, all the players and staff members taking a knee. Obviously Lungi Ngidi been very vocal about it, which has sort of started a train reaction and got a conversation going, which I think is good, and I think that is the main thing. But let's just look at the Eagles side. So AB de Villiers is back in the CSA fold. He will captain the side, which has the likes of Aiden Markram, Rassie van der Dussen, Carl Verheyen, Andile Petlequire, Bjorn Fontaine, Junior Dalla and Lungi Ngidi. So a very good team. They will be coached by Jeffrey Toyana. Good to see Mackay and Tina there. Obviously gave a very powerful interview. Francois Pienaar there, Graham Smith, everybody is out in full force. Obviously all masks on and stuff like that. But yeah, so I think given the circumstances, it's a very interesting way of getting things back. If you're watching, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And here comes the first ball, being bowled by Dwayne Pretorius of 3-team cricket. And just a single there. Reza Hendricks, Janneman Milan, the ones opening the batting. Right, let me sort out a scoreboard for you guys now. For those of you that know the format, what are you expecting? Obviously, lots of gaps in the field, so boundaries should be quite easy, although we've had two balls and two singles, so a decent start by Dwayne Pretorius. But what are we expecting here today? What do you think is a good score, for example, in the first innings? You know, we obviously have a new format, so we don't really know what to expect. But apparently they did have a warm-up game on Thursday, so they all do sort of know the format a bit better. But I think it's going to be an interesting time and to see sort of what this format can be. I don't think it'll ever replace T20 cricket, for example. But I think it's just an opportunity to get back on the field, which is the main thing. Right, third ball in here. No boundaries as of yet. Decent start by Dwayne Pretorius, Villiers, Hendricks and Janneman Malan into bat. And let's get a scoreboard into here. There we go. So now you can see the Kingfishers are on 4 for none after 4 deliveries. A decent start by Dwayne Pretorius. No boundaries as of yet. Villiers, Hendricks, the captain, with Janneman Malan, who is a very bright prospect. And yeah, the match has started. Yeah, unfortunately you can't watch unless you have Super Sports. So unfortunately not all of us can watch today, but let's try and see if we can have some good conversations in the comments. A decent start. Well, I don't even know what a decent start is here. I mean, we don't really know what a pass score is, what they should be aiming for. But at the moment, first over, 5 balls in with 6 for none. You're reckoning 76 is a good first inning score in 6 overs. Yeah, well, that's probably, I suppose, that's pretty quite a good score. I mean, what's interesting is the fact that there's no fielding restrictions in terms of being in a ring or anything. It's more sort of division based. And that brings another single to bring in the first over. Okay, so Villiers, Hendricks, Janneman Malan negotiate the first innings, or the first over rather. 7 for none. Dwayne Pretorius there. So a bit of an anticlimactic start, really. No boundaries in the over. So I think it will be being a bit cautious. Dwayne Pretorius starting first up, so it'll be interesting to see who Temba Bavuma goes with second. The commentators also don't know what's happening there. They're backing apparently a spinner's coming onto bowl, which means we are going to have John Smith, I would imagine. John Smith into the attack, and that's just a signal knocked down. They're pushing hard. Check, and they get back for 2. Oh, it's a terrible throw. 9 for none after 1.1. John Smuts into the attack. Janneman Malan and Villiers, Hendricks are the ones batting. So the captain in with a very exciting youngster. And here we go with the second ball over. Worked away. Yeah, we haven't seen any boundaries yet. Nobody's really sort of going. I think a bit cautious to sort of go hell for leather too early on. And yeah, I think a lot of people are very cautious. Obviously, it's a new format. People don't really understand or know what a good pass score is and stuff like that. So we haven't seen any big shots. They've been working the things. See, the thing is, because obviously it's a field that has been demarcated into different zones, everybody's pretty much on the boundaries to try and give them the best opportunity, which means that there are twos available everywhere around the field. So at the moment, just working around the twos, not looking for too many boundary options at the moment. We haven't seen any big shots. And again, just working it around. But I suppose if you could try and pick up sort of 10 and over just in terms of running singles, I mean, they're on 12 after 1.4. So a boundary here, and it's a decent start. But if you're watching, tell me where you're watching from, who you're supporting. the moment we've got the Kingfishers in and the Kites bowling. In the dugout are the Eagles. Comes down the pitch but just works it away. So no risk being taken yet from the batsmen. They're 14 for none after 2. Just 4 overs left before a change in the batsmen. So if you wasn't on Supersport 202 Scots, I don't actually know. I mean, I'm streaming it on DSTV now, and it seems to be working for me. But so I don't. I mean, obviously, I think you. I mean, I know there was a thing where you had to sign up on the CSA website, but I'm not entirely sure what's happening in terms of television. I mean, I'm watching on DSTV now on 202, so not entirely sure why it wouldn't be on Supersport there. Dwayne Pretorius back in for his second over, which is interesting because you're only allowed to bowl 3 overs for the bowlers across the match. So you're using 2 over here, which means you'll only have 1 for the next innings. Bakang Vasamolamale says, new format, but nothing should change. Let's go boundary hunting. Well, so far they haven't. There we go. There's the first boundary of the day. Comes from Yanama Milan, a good shot down the ground. Yeah, so far they haven't really been going for the boundaries that much. It's been sort of working around taking and exploiting the gaps in the field, which is an interesting tactic to start. I think a lot of people thought it was going to be a case of all guns blazing quite early, which hasn't really been the case. So it's interesting to see what happens in the rest of the match. Now we're starting to see a few shots from Yanama Milan, and he gets in second miles, back-to-back boundaries, trying to go towards more area and pulls it to about behind backwards square. And that's a bit of an acceleration there. So I think that's a sign of intent from Yanama Milan. They took 2 overs and worked it around, but now starting to play some more shots. Right, shall we go 4th ball? Yeah, unfortunately, if you don't manage to watch, we will be posting the highlights on foreversports.net. Let's stay. Oh, there we go. That's big. Straight up. And that is a huge shot from Yanama Milan. There we go. Really taking on Dwayne Pretorius. This over so far, 1, 4, 4, and a massive 6 from Yanama Milan. We saw his power hitting in the Australian series, and he's completely opened up Dwayne Pretorius there. And that is a gorgeous shot. Now, unfortunately, I can't show the entire thing. Unfortunately, that is illegal. So I'll just keep the score report at the moment, and you can watch the highlights on the website later if you're not allowed to watch, if you can't watch today at the moment. Right, last ball of the over, and it's the first dot of the innings actually. Right, 30 for none after 3 overs. Current run rate 10. Yanama Milan on 20 of 9 after the first 3. Reza Hendricks, the captain of the Kingfishers, 10 of 9. Right, change to Pamela. Ludus Pamela in, 22 years old, coming from the Pavilion end. And I really like Ludus Pamela. I think he's a very exciting team. I think he's been good when he's played. So there we go, 22 years old. Obviously, out and out bowler, doesn't do much batting. But a really exciting player. We've seen how he can do in the national stage, but definitely one to watch for the future. And he's got an interesting. He's going to be at a time now where the batsmen are looking to take him on. No wickets as of yet. So his first ball is to Reese Hendricks, and just a single there. They're going to run 2. No, they won't take on the arm. But I suppose I'll get a scoreboard back up right now. But at the moment it's 31 for none. Pamela's bowling to Reese Hendricks now. Right, there we go. We've got a scoreboard backing up now. And no, don't. Running a single there to Bavuma. Thought about the 2, but I think given the fielder, you're not going to take Tema Bavuma on it, even at the best of days. Certainly not here. But yeah, no wickets so far, 33 for none. A bit of a timid start. Obviously, Yalan Milan accelerated a bit in the last stream. But yeah, so if you're watching, let me know where you're watching. Don't forget to like the video and give a subscribe to the post. I'm going to be posting up some additional ways you can win the Proteas shirt at the end of the game. I'll be doing that draw live after the game. So if you've entered, don't forget to stick around and see how you can enter some more. Very tidy here from Lucas Pamela, just 6 off the over in his first 5 balls. So in a game where I think it will be quite fine margins, it's tidy stuff here from the youngster. But it's a very exciting players to keep watch of today. I mean, you've got the likes of Gerald Coetzee, who's just 19 years old. Tandun Tini, Makai Tini's son, he's 20 years old. Had a really good season with the Cobras. Oh, and that's picked up, and looks like that'll go all the way. That's a brilliant shot from Yalan Milan. Picks up the lengths nice and early, and that is pretty much out the ground. Yalan Milan putting on quite a show here, 30 or 13, and that is a brilliant shot to end the over. Apologies, there's the scoreboard is correct. So currently 42 for none. Lucas Pamela with a decent over, and then unfortunately, well, not unfortunately if you're a Kingsfish fan, but Yalan Milan picking that up beautifully. So 42 for none after 4 overs, just 2 more overs, and there will be a change in batting and bowling. I believe it'll then be the Eagles that'll come out to bat, and the Kingfishers will bowl. Bjorn Hendricks now in 30 years old. And I must credit Bjorn Hendricks because I think he's somebody who's always been there and thereabout, but now has had recently been given a chance reasonably extended chance with the Proteas, and he's been good. And especially I think in the Test matches, he got a couple of wickets, which I thought was quite good to see. But there we go. There's the aggression. Doesn't carry. Louisa Hendricks looking to tee off quite early in the over. Just 2 overs to go, so really not a time to hang around. Time to try and get as many runs on the board as possible now and get yourselves a good lead going into the second innings. Unfortunately, it's not being shown live other than DSTV, which is why we're doing this, because it's frustrating that you can't always watch cricket in South Africa. But so unfortunately, I can't. If you don't have DSTV, you can't watch the game. We will be posting the highlights live, well not live, but after the game on our website. So just monitor it there to catch all the highlights of the game. And you can see some brilliant shots played by Janneman Milan so far. He's on 31 of 14, so very impressive stuff from the youngster. If you haven't already, that's a brilliant shot. Hendricks smokes him straight over the back of his head and for 4, and the Kingfishers move up to 48 for none. If you're watching and you haven't already, please don't forget to go and enter a competition to win an ODI shirt from the Proteas. I'm going to be posting up. We've just added an additional method to win, so you'll be able to have some more entries there, which I'll post the link shortly. But if you haven't, go to www.foreversports.net. We are giving a Proteas ODI jersey away at the end of this video, so just stick with us and get involved in the comments. Tell me who you're supporting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We almost had our first wicket of the game there, but that's what has been interesting. I think the whole idea is that if the 8th batsman is still there, they can bat on alone. But at this stage, they haven't really looked any sort of wicket-taking opportunities. I mean, there was one possible catch which dropped a bit short. You can see the Eagles players there getting ready to come on. One assumes it'll be David de Villiers opening the batting. Well, there we go. We can have our first wicket of the game. He hasn't quite got a hold of that. Oh, but it dropped short. Oh, there we go. I think that's the first wicket. It looks like a run out here. Good work in the deep, coming back for the second. A decent throw from the captain, Bavuma. And has he been given? I think he's walking off. Yes, that is the first wicket of the day. Reza Hendricks goes for 19 or 15. If there's one person whose arm you don't want to take on, it is Temba Bavuma's. And that is exactly what happened. And Hendricks has to go. Right, so if you haven't already, don't forget to enter our competition to win a Proteas ODI shirt. We have added a bonus entry, so you can go and visit the link there now. At the bottom there it says bonus entry. So even if you have done all the various methods, if you go and select that bonus entry, you will get some more entries into the live draw for the shirt, which will take place just after the game is finished. New batsman in is Faf du Plessis, all smiles at the moment. Good to see him in a good spirits. Ooh, that's a dot ball. Nakia into to bowl for his first over, and this is the last over before the swap. So we saw Bjorn Hendricks with 1 over, Lutus Pumler with 1 over, John Smuts with 1 over, and now Nakia with 1 over. So they will all have at least 2 overs in the next innings to bowl. But what a piece of fielding this is from Temba Bavuma. This throw is a bit wide, but because he was so quick in a great piece, brilliant piece of keeping there from Ryan Rickleton. He's a really exciting talent. If you haven't seen him too much more, it's worth giving a watch. He's played good innings in the Mzansi Super League. But Nokia in for his second ball. And caught. There we go. And he gets the breakthrough. And that is Janema Milan caught in the deep. 31 or 50. Nokia with the breakthrough. Safe hands from Dave Miller. And I think this kite side could be quite dangerous. I mean, in terms of the batting, you got the likes of Bavuma and Miller. Nice bowling at the moment. John Smuts, a power hitter. I'm from Gauteng. I am based in Johannesburg. Born and bred and been here all my life. And there he goes, a good innings from Janema Milan. 31 or 16, a strike rate of 193. A nice good innings by the youngster. And the new man in is Gerald Coetzee, the young bowler, young fast bowler. He's definitely one to watch out. I mean, we know he can bat, but in terms of bowling, he's almost hitting 150 and at just 19 years old. So good stuff by the Kites to really bring this back. I mean, at this stage, it looks like they're going to be able to limit them to under 60, which is under 10 and over. So a really good fight back from the Kites. Janema Milan looked like he was getting a bit out of hand. But yeah, I mean, a good fight back so far. Drop ball there from Nokia. This is a brilliant over. Just one from the over with four deliveries. And what a comeback from the Kites. They will look, I mean, they're going to go back in with by restricting the Kingfishers to less than 60, which is a brilliant effort. Well played. Coetzee just waits for it, just guides it past the keeper, and obviously no third man, and that trickles away for 4. So one ball to come. Can the Kingfishers get up to 60? Can they get 10 and over before they go into the dugout and the Eagles have their chance to come in? Quite a little deft touch there from Gerald Coetzee. Really exciting player, and no doubt he will be a pro tier in the months or years to come. Very excited to watch him bowl. Oh, good piece of keeping, almost chops on, and that's it. That's the first, sixth really. I mean, the first innings of the first half, and Kingfishers are 56 for 2. Really good comeback from the Kites. It looked like it was getting away from them a bit with Janema Milan going for it, but it's a good fight back. And yeah, I mean, obviously 56. We don't know what a good score is yet because we haven't seen enough formats, but I would say that 56. Is probably a bit subpar. I think you want to look at least 10 and over, given there are so many gaps in the field. So I think the Kites will be quite happy with that. Nokia bowling very well at the end there. And now we will see the Eagles come and bat, and the Kingfishers will come and bowl, I believe. So look at the scorecard at the moment. Reza Hendricks, 20 of 16. Janema Milan, 31 of 16. And Duplessis faced just one ball, and Gerald Coetzee is on 4-3. They still have Klaasen, Stearman, Tandontini, and Shamsi to bat. So interesting that Gerald Coetzee went out before 100 Klaasen. Not quite sure why. But yeah, I suppose maybe just looking towards the second innings, Gerald Coetzee will probably have a bit of a go at the beginning. If he goes out, then you've got 100 Klaasen who comes in, which is a really good player to have if you chase down a big score, because we know how innovative he can be. Hello there, everybody that's joining us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Tell me where you're watching. Tell me who you are backing at the moment. The Kingfishers batted first. They made 56 for 2, and that's always a good sight to see. Looks like Rassie van der Dussen is going to be opening the batting. One imagines he'll be opening next to AB de Villiers. But the first innings there, 56 for 2. So a solid start. We don't quite know what a pass score is. Okay, so innings break here, and a time to sort of assess what the action was like. So I think it was a bit slow in terms of boundaries. I think people probably would have thought that there would have been more boundaries given all the gaps, but I think the Kingfishers were a bit cautious. I think to go too early and to try and lose wickets, which given the fact you've got 12 overs, I'm not sure why you do 2 while losing wickets. They're 2 down, which means they've got 4 for the second innings. But yeah, I think they were cautious in the first 2 overs and just looked to work the singles. It'll be interesting to see the approach that the Eagles take, because obviously with de Villiers, we all know he can go from ball 1. But yeah, so that was the approach that the Kingfishers took. They were quite cautious in their opening period. So now we have the AB's Eagles. They know that they will need to beat 56 runs in order to be ahead of the game and put the pressure on Quinny's Kites, who will bat last. What's actually Temba's Kites at the moment. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue as well, but obviously Quinton de Kock couldn't take part. He was ruled out this morning. An earlier late replacement on Ryan Rickleton. So it looks like it's going to be Gerald Coetzee, who I believe will probably open the bowling. A very exciting player, Gerald Coetzee. I mean, he's hitting high speeds at such a young age. So it'll be interesting to see if he can kick on from that. Tando Ntini also want to look out, also in the Kingfishers. Who's your favorite player? Let me know who your favorite player is, or which players you're most excited to see today. It's so good to see cricket back. I mean, it's a bit of a strange format, and I think it hasn't been quite the same sort of vibe. But obviously, it doesn't help that there's no crowd, lots of rusty players, so it's difficult to assess the format on the first 6 overs. But so far, we haven't seen too many fireworks in terms of big hitting or big or boundaries. But let's wait and see. You know, maybe the second innings will bring a bit more innovation through from de Villiers. Right, Rassie van der Dussen in for the Eagles as we get ready for the second period of 6 overs. This is obviously still the first half. This is a 2-half game, which is unheard of for cricket fans, but it is the new format that we are trying out today. Well, this is interesting. I have never ever seen Reza Hendricks bowl, and he will be taking the first over. From the looks of it, surely not. He's standing with the umpire, he's got the ball in his hand. It looks like he is going to have a ball. Aiden Markham opening. So it's not the Villiers who's opening the batsman. It'll be Aiden Markham and Rassie van der Dussen. So they are going to be relied upon to get the early runs, and then obviously the Villiers is backing himself to help with the chase. Well, Wiese Hendricks is bowling. He's going to be bowling right on off spin, or I think any sort of turn will be. We'll have to wait and see if he does anything with the ball. But here we go, first ball for Wiese Hendricks. Well, he lands it, so that's always a first start, and a single from Markham. So not a bad start there. So it's an interesting tactic here, and the first sort of bit of gamesmanship we've seen so far in the match. Obviously, Wiese Hendricks thinking that that he's only got a certain amount of overs to bowl as bowlers, so if he can try and get himself out the way early and not go for too many, then he'll have more options later on when it comes to to defending a score. So an interesting tactic there. So 2 for none after the first 2 balls, a bit of a slow start. The slow start, 4 for none after 0.3. Hendricks, the man bowling. I didn't realize he was. I didn't think they was their fifth bowler, but obviously looking to try and get himself out the way early, and that is just a 2 there. So nothing too big, no big fireworks as of yet from the batsmen. AB de Villiers and Aiden Markham, the batsmen, in at the moment. Battery proceeds busy trying to work out how to work the hand sanitizer on the side of the field. Looks like it's a difficult process. So a decent over here from Wiese Hendricks. I mean, obviously, I think they'll look to try and bring. So predicted score for Eagles is 86 for 3. Not a bad shot. I think 86 is probably quite big. I think they'll need to start accelerating quite quickly if they were to get that in the first innings. I think they'll be looking for anything 60 plus. And Van der Dussen trying a bit of a reverse paddle there, doesn't quite get away. And a very good over from Hendricks, who finishes on 7. So 7 for none after the first. Marker on 6, Van der Dussen 1 of 2. Yeah, solid start. This is the first bit of tactics we've seen. I mean, obviously at this stage we've seen mostly the tactics have been just putting everybody back on the boundary and just sort of saying unless you're heading into the gap, you're not going to get more than 2. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see if there are any other sort of glaringly difference in terms of tactics at the moment. I mean, in terms of the bowling, we've sort of seen them. Most of the bowlers have been trying to keep it quite tight, bowling on that sort of bowling sort of middle off and third stump there, or fourth stump, sorry. So I suppose you have to try and keep quite a reasonably tight line, because if you're getting too much width, there is a lot of gaps. Glenton Stearman comes into the attack, 27 years old, from the Warriors. An exciting player, bit of a late bloomer in terms of his international career, but good to see that he's in the setup and a chance to make his name known across the rest of the cricketing fans. Just having a look back here, really good to see Cantini there, Francois Pienaar here, able to taking a knee before the game. There we go, and that's the first boundary of the day. Well played by Van der Dussen, a nice drive through the covers. Manages to pierce the gap despite not probably connecting as well as he wants to, but there we go. But first signs of aggression from the Eagles, who are 14 for none after 1.3, chasing a first 6 over target set by the Kingfishers of 56. Obviously, the team who scores the most in the first half will bat first. Oh. It's a good return there from Stearman, who bowls it nice at full on the stumps and get a single away there. So a decent start here. I think we've seen a bit of aggression. So I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, for me, you kind of don't have much to lose to be aggressive. As soon as you lose 1 or 2 wickets, then suddenly you might have to bring it back a bit. At the moment, you've got Markham, Van der Dussen, AB de Villiers still to come. So I think there'll be a lot of benefit in going quite aggressive from the get-go. All the fielders out on the boundary. There's lots of running to do. Markham doesn't quite catch that. Gets a single out to square legs, trying to go find the gap in between there. But yeah, signs of aggression here from the Eagles. We don't have a speed camera, unfortunately, so we can't sort of see what the bowlers are thinking. But to be fair, obviously a little bit of rust in this at the moment, but so far some reasonable cricket. I think Jan Malan looked in very good nick. Reza Hendricks played some nice shots. Oh, that's a brilliant ball, and that's Yorked him. Clinton Stearman take a bow, and that is a brilliant delivery. 16 for 1. He's gotten Rassie van der Dussen, so that's a big wicket. And that is a brilliant ball. In swinging Yorker, off stumps, out the ground. What a delivery from Clinton Stearman. How's that? Take that, Eagles. That is unplayable. That is the delivery of the day. As you say, the Ram Slam delivery of the day. Hits about a foot up on off stump. Completely beats Rassie van der Dussen. What a ball. Clinton Stearman announced himself to the 3-team cricket. Brilliant stuff there. And Rassie van der Dussen goes. 8 of 6, strike rate 133, so not too much. He would have been hoping for a big contribution. And this is where this is a horrible format, because now he's out. They've still got 7 different innings as well, sort of sets over here to play, and he won't be able to bat again. So he'll be able to bowl for another. He'll come and field for 6 more overs, but you know that's his contribution done. And here comes the captain of the Eagles, AB de Villiers, walks out with the MRF bat. I think we all missed the de Villiers who had. You put the highlights on your YouTube channel after you stream. The highlights will be on the website. Foreversports.net. We will upload them as soon as they are posted. So don't stress. We will make sure that if you aren't able to watch it live, you will be able to watch some highlights. And if you do watch the highlights, I strongly recommend trying to make sure you catch Clinton Stearman's delivery to Rassie van der Dussen, because what a ball that was. Taresh Shamsi comes into the attack. The only leggy, well, left arm Chinaman into here. And Markham, yeah, that's a poor delivery first one. Shamsi drags it down a bit, and Markham cuts away very well. 20 for 1. And the Eagles suddenly with the boundary are looking not too bad. Obviously a brilliant dismissal earlier by Clinton Stearman. But a very nice shot there from Aidan Markham. He's looked good since coming back. Hitting mostly out the middle. And I mean, he's getting on in age. He's 26 years old now, Aidan Markham, or 25, I think, and turning 26 this year. So it's time for him to really sort of cement his spot. And we can't be talking about him as a young coming prospect, because he's not that young anymore. He is approaching his best years. And given that we've seen, no, you don't have to pay to watch, sign up. You just have to visit the website. Everything is free on Forever Sports, unless you want to become a member, which gives you a whole bunch of different stuff. But yeah, so I think Markham needs to start cementing his place and really kicking on and becoming one of South Africa's best batsmen. AB de Villiers' first ball, and he just gets a single out there to a long on. I think it's really good to see that de Villiers is back in the setup. And I mean, there's always that sort of debate about whether he should be in the T20 World Cup squad, and should he come back given all his the past experiences. But I think cricketing wise, just a cricketing decision, there's no doubt he improves our team if he comes back for that T20 World Cup. as the best batsman, arguably, of ever from South Africa. The most explosive batsman. I mean, Mr. 360, you need to have your best 11 on the field. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see him in the T20 World Cup. I'd like to see him. I think he's got a bit of a pause from Shamsi. And a good recovery from Shamsi, yeah. Obviously didn't start too well, but since then, just 3 runs and 4 balls, so a nice recovery from Tabraiz Shamsi. I think he stepped up recently as well. He's been, obviously, with Tahir stepping back and playing only T20 cricket, Shamsi's had to sort of pick up the mantle, and he's been good so far. And a good comeback here. Ooh! Was it a nick? We have to see that again. Klaasen might have dropped Markham here. It was a brilliant delivery. Let's see here we have. Is it a drop? Is it a drop? Oh, I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. That's a very poor piece of keeping from Klaasen. Regulation drop. He'll be annoyed at that. Shamsi can't believe it, as you can imagine. Disappointment all around. That would have been a big wicket. Markham could have been gone, and that would have been massive for the Kingfishers there. And here we go. Here comes the youngster, Gerald Coetzee, just 19 years old, right on fast medium. And when they say fast, he can be very fast. When he bowled a couple of overs last year in the Zan Super League and almost hit the 150 mark. So let's go see what pace he can. That has been dispatched to the boundary. Brilliant shot from Markham. I apologize, it was De Villiers that was dropped in the last over. So Markham's on strike there, and what a shot that is. That is a brilliant shot. A little bit short, a bit wide, offers a bit of width, and Markham dispatches that, and that raced to the boundary in seconds. Markham looking very, very good here. Dot ball there. Markham trying to give himself a bit of room, looking to go over. He does like to do that. Markham's somebody who plays very straight, likes to play in the V. And I think when he scored 150 for the Titans, and all he did was pretty much just give himself straight and hit everything back over the bowler's head. He's very, very strong straight. So trying to give himself a bit of room there. Very frustrated with himself. But that is the downside of having pace. Obviously, Gerald Coetzee is going to be clocking it quite quick. But given that there are so many gaps, as long as you get it somewhere in the gap, that's ball's going to race away. Slow ball there, and that'll be a single out to Reeza Hendricks in the deep there. 28 for 1, current run rate 8, so it's a bit slow for what they would have liked. I think they're going to probably be looking at about 65, 70, I think, to try and make sure that they're ahead of the Kites. Oh, sorry, of the Kingfishers. Kites will come into bat next. Be interesting to see who opens there. One imagines it'll be Temba Bavuma and possibly Dave Miller, maybe Ryan Rickleton have a bit of a go. Coetzee looking good already. Yeah, he is. Oh, that's a good ball. Straight into the block. That is a good Yorker squeezed out there for a single, but I think Coetzee is going to be a priority within the next 12 months. I think if he can stay fit, if he doesn't get injured, he's got pace. He's a clever bowler. He's not a slouch to the bat. And I think we've got some very, very exciting talent. I mean, when you think Rabada's 25, Ngidi's 24, Sapamda's 22, Pettit is 24, Tandon 20, Coetzee is 19. I mean, we've got bowlers. I mean, Nokia is 27. We've got so many bowlers who are young that I think we're going to be in a position where I think if you've been watching the Test match between West Indies and England are in a very rare situation where they can rotate their seamers because they have so many seam options, and hopefully South Africa gets to a similar stage where we've got seamers who, as soon as they're not playing a good match. I mean, Stuart Broad was dropped in the last match. He's obviously back in now, but and Anderson's not playing. So many different bowlers for England. And I think that's where we're going. We're going to have the likes of Tandon, Gerald Coetzee, Lenton Stearman's not come through, Nokia, Ngidi, Rabada, Sasanda Magala's another one. Would have really liked to have seen him play. Another one in the block hole. And this is very good over from Coetzee. Bit of a wayward first delivery, but since then he pretty much bowled everything on the stumps, nice and full, difficult to get away that. And that's a very good statement by the youngster. So a big question here: who's everybody supporting? Who are we backing here? I think the Kingfishers are the underdogs. I mean, I think they've got a lot of youngsters. I mean, you've got Tando Ntini and Gerald Coetzee. Visa Hendricks captaining there. It was supposed to be KG's Kingfisher, so obviously not having him is a big loss. So if we have a look at the Kites, who will be coming into bat next. One imagines it's going to be Tim Buna, probably John Smuts to open. Dave Miller after that. I mean, I think that's probably fairly accurate to what we'll see in terms of the batting order. Shamsi back into bowls. Oh, that's big. Markham goes up. It's long. Oh my goodness, that is huge. Markham takes on Shamsi, first delivery of the ball. They thought he was in for a catch, but that is very large. And then we've got terrain ball retrievers out there. They're kitted up. They've got their helmets on. They've got their what looks like a bug catching net to go and get the balls. And that is a brilliant shot. He just picks up the length early and swings his hands through there. And Markham clears the fence with ease. Markham looking very, very good here. Good to see. And now a bit of a deft touch. Looks like a bit of a nutmeg on Heinrich Klaassen. He's got a lot to work to go. And that'll run. Yeah, Markham looking good here. Trying a bit, moving around. Suddenly 41 for 1. Run rate's been brought straight up. The Villiers will be facing just his 4th delivery now. So it'll be interesting to see if he tries to go for it. But Markham, 31 of 17. Him and Milan, definitely the best, looking at the best at the moment. Derek Coetzee has probably been my pick of the bonus. Him and Nokia have looked very good early on. So good to see here. I agree. Yeah, Markham does have a lot to prove. 2 years, I think, he's going to his prime. So I think now is the time where he needs to cement himself as a. It'll be interesting to see where he settles in. I mean, for one day, I think he looks at a good 4th. Oh, that's big. And Markham's gone again. Same place, same result. Markham looking brilliant. 37 of 18. Shamsi being taken apart here by Aiden Markham. He won't enjoy that. And he'll be frustrated because he should have had David de Villiers back in the shed. But yeah, the rain ball fetches are running everywhere. That is a brilliant shot from Aiden Markham. And this is what continues to be the frustrating thing when it comes to Markham, is on his day, he's one of the best batsmen in the world. It's as simple as that. That is huge. That is almost out the ground. That is almost over the fence. In terms of social distancing, there was not much distance between the ball and the boundary there. That was huge. And a single to get him off strike there. So Markham 38 of 18. Jeepers, he has looked good. He has dispatched Shamsi. Shamsi will not be impressed. He should have had Abe de Villiers. He's now gone 24 runs and just shy of 2 overs. And how things can change. And this is what's quite interesting about this format, is that it's... Do you rate Markham as a limited player considering his difference between ODI status and test stats? Well, if you're watching Ed Markham right now, there'll be no doubt about his ability as an ODI player. He's a T20 player, but I think, yeah, I do rate him. De Villiers comes down the pitch and smacks him straight down. That would be a 4 runs, and Shamsi must be fuming. De Villiers dropped on the last ball of his last over, and he has since gone for 6-3-1-6-1-4. That is a huge over. 24 runs from it, and that's the. I probably should have stopped that, to be fair to him. What an over there from the Eagles. Now he completely misses that. Almost takes out the umpire. So 2 overs to go. Sorry, 1 over to go. 53 for 1. So 3 overs to beat the Kingfishers score. Sorry, 3 runs to beat the Kingfishers score. So I think they should be looking to do that. And then the Kites will have to try and chase that down. So a bit of an interesting poised match here. We're interesting to see who bowls here. There we go. Mackay Ntini's son. Tando Ntini comes into the attack. What an exciting prospect he is. 20 years of age. A good bowler as well. And he will bowl the final over before the switch and the Kites get their chance to come and bat. There he is, just 20 years of age. First ball, that's very nice, into the block hole. Good start there from the youngster. Yeah, really exciting player. Obviously, we all know how good Mackay was. So if he can be a fraction of the player, then he'll have a good career. But I think he's a very exciting prospect, and he's really grown, especially in the last season. I think he's not express pace, but a skillful bowler. It's obviously in the genes as well. You have a good mentor there in terms of Mackay helping him out there. But yeah, I think he will be a Protea in the future. I have no doubt about that. A really exciting young player. And let's see what he can do today. So he had a really good start there. It's a bit wayward. If he gets away with that, actually. Oh, we've lost a shoe here. Not quite sure how he managed to do that. The Villiers has lost a shoe. Yeah, so I think Tando Ntini a bit lucky there, a bit wayward, try to fire it in on his legs, and De Villiers picks it off with its legs. The shoe is off, scampers through with one shoe, but a good start here from the youngster. Ooh, good running. Markham tries to get that away, drops straight down. What a start this is for Tando Ntini. 3 balls, 3 runs, very good stuff here. And the Eagles go level with the Kingfishers score. Kingfishers were 56 for 2 after their 6 overs, and the Eagles currently 56 for 1. Markham 40 of 21. But a really good over here from those 2 youngsters have really impressed so far. I mean, all the inexperience. Glenton Stearman with a brilliant wicket earlier on. Gerald Coetzee with a very solid over. Tando Ntini has been very good so far. So a nice start here from the newbies. Oh, that's straight up. The cameraman's lost him. Oh, he's dropped. I think he's dropped it. Well, the cameramen are obviously also a bit rusty. They don't know what's going on now. I think they just ran about 4 there in singles. We're gonna have to see that replay. I think Tando Ntini is complete. I think Tando Ntini's just dropped AB de Villiers. Straight up. I mean, we're gonna try and watch the game, but the camera work here is appalling. So we actually have no idea what happens. From the sounds of it, it looks like Tando Ntini's dropped it. Here we go. Underneath it. Oh, that's a poor drop. Oh, Mackay. Have you given him his fielding? Oh, that's a good shot. The camera work, we've done it here. Well, Weezer Hendricks doesn't know what happens. The camera work has been a bit appalling here. But it looks like Weezer Hendricks has tried to catch Markham on the boundary. I think it will be a 6. Let's try and see if we've got a replay here. I try to keep it in, but I don't think he's managed to do it. Umpires will have a look here. But that it's either a big 6 from Markham, or it's a very, very good piece of fielding from Weezer Hendricks. Alright, so here we go. Catches it. Throws it back in the air. Slips on the cover. I think it's a 6. Tries to jump up, but unfortunately with a slip on the cover, I think that will be a 6. Almost a very good piece of field. Well, it is a good piece of fielding from Weezer Hendricks. It's funny how that's become so regulation. The whole idea of catching a ball, running over the boundaries, throwing it back in. But Markham 40 of 21 now. Wait to hear what that will be. They're checking the no ball. Do they think it's out then? So he catches it. Reese Hendricks throws it back in the air, slips on the slide cover, but has he? No, I think he's still on the ground when he catches that ball. Obviously, if he's in the air and he lands back in, then it doesn't count. But I think it will be a 6. Waiting for the umpire decision here. Big call. Actually, this is a very big call. This is either a 6 or a wicket, which is quite a big swing there. Nah, he's still on the floor there. That's a 6. Still waiting for the decision here. I think it'll be 6 runs. It looks like Reese Hendricks still on the floor when he tries to catch it. And the call is taking an age here. I don't know why. Look, he's clearly still in the field. Still waiting for this decision at the moment. I think it will be 6 runs. Reese Hendricks looks like he was clearly outside the field when he tried to throw it back in. But yeah, if you're watching, don't forget to like and subscribe to the page. There it is, 6 runs. Finally, don't know why it took so long, but there we have the decision. Markham moves on to 46. He could be the first man ever to score a 50 in 3-team cricket. And if he does, it'll come off less than 50 balls. Well, I'd like to think so anyway. So what an innings by him, and what a statement of intent. Hendricks has had a smile on his face. It was a bit close there. Couldn't keep it in. And that means that the Eagles move on to 65. Last ball, and that'll be a... No, I think I'll take it down. So that's the end of that 6 overs. 66 for 1. So they get over the Kingfishers' score by 10 runs. So yeah, as I said, I think 66 for 70 was probably what they were looking for. They'll be happy with that. Kites will need to score more than 66 if they are to bat first and try and set. Good stuff there. And what a performance from Aidan Markham. 46 runs there from 22 deliveries. He's looking really, really good. But sure, so let's talk about the Kites here. They're about to come into bat. Let's have a look at their team. Okay, so Temba Bavuma, I imagine, will open the batting, and I think he'll look to run some singles. See, it's difficult because in terms of knocking into the gap and running singles, you'd like to think Temba Bavuma will bat with David Miller. But power hitting wise, John Smuts obviously offers you a lot. But I mean, Temba Bavuma and John Smuts, that's not going to be a great running combination. So does he go Temba Bavuma? Does he go himself and Dave Miller and try and run them off their feet in the first couple of overs, or does he go with John Smuts and tell John to sort of tee off from the get-go? I mean, what could happen is you could send in Dwayne Pretorius and John Smuts as pinch hitters, and you just tell them from the first get-go, listen, have a bit of a go. You've got Ryan Rickleton to come in as well. He's really good. But look at that, Glenton Stearman, very nice, 1 for 9. Mark of 47 or 23, sorry about that. And Villiers there on 11 not out. So more importantly is that you've got 2 batsmen who are pretty set. I mean, Mark on 46, so if you're not set after that, you never will be set. But here comes Temba Bavuma's got his pads in his arms, which means it doesn't look like he's going to be coming on straight away. Ricketson or Bavuma, I don't know. I think it doesn't look like Bavuma's going to be coming out first, which would be strange. So I'm interested to see what the tactics are here from the Kites. Do they go? And it's almost like a difficult thing because if you go and score 70 odd runs now, you're now setting, which means you don't know what you've got it all to do. You then need to go and post a big score and hope it's enough. So you don't. I mean, your approach to the second innings will be very different. Whereas if you manage to sort of, I think ideally you probably want to be in a position where you're scoring just underneath the other two, so that you know what you have to do when you walk out in terms of chasing, but obviously you don't want to leave yourself too much to do. So a lot of interesting sort of subplots with this format, which is quite cool to see. But I don't know, what does everybody think of the format? Please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Giving away a Proteas jersey. If you scroll up, there's a link to the giveaway. Various ways you can get in and win it. Delivering everything will be sorted out, don't you stress. So just visit the website www.foreversports.net. Enter the competition. If you are the winner, we will sort you out with a Proteas ODI jersey. I'm actually very jealous. I might just keep it for myself if nobody seems to want to claim it after we announce it. I could definitely do with a new Proteas jersey. But thanks to everybody that's already entered into it. It's been really, really cool to see how many people are excited that cricket is back. We're going to be doing a lot of giveaways, hopefully in the future and stuff like that. So let us know what you'd like to see us give away. Let us know what sort of content you'd like to see. Lots more content coming from Forever Sports as all the sort of sport comes back, makes a return. I'm really good to see some sport being played in South Africa at the moment. Right, innings break here, and after that we're going to be seeing the kites come back into bat. So interesting to see what will happen there. I'm interested to see he will bat first actually. Somebody decided to do some drilling somewhere in the area, so that's very unfriendly. Right, let's just sort out our scoreboard. Right, and that's John Smuts in the middle, who I'm sure will be looking to try and tee off from ball one. Jonathan Smuts and Ryan Rickleton, that's an interesting call from the Kites. No Bavuma yet, no Dave Miller, so lots of good batting to come. But yeah, I'll be interested to see what Rickleton can do here. I think he's a very exciting prospect, a very exciting young player. We've got so many good keepers in the country at the moment. When you think of Sheila down at the Warriors, you know, Kyle Verreyn, who we'll see, he's currently behind the stumps now. And there we go. So John Smuts starts off with a single. I think these two will pretty much tee off on ball one. I don't think they're going to hang around. They get a 2 there, but I don't think it's going to be too. I don't think they're going to look to stay around too much. When you've got the likes of Dave Miller and Tim Bavuma still in the shed. And Aidan Markham is the bowler here for the Eagles. Three from the first 3 balls. A good start from Markham, bowling with a cap on. And I think Markham's bowling is interesting because I think, you know, he's somebody who, if he can offer something with the ball, is quite useful. You know, we often, you know, especially in Test match cricket, you know, you try and find somebody to offer you a different something a bit different, especially like if nothing's really happening. And Aiden Markham's not a bad bowler at all. But Kangwa, maybe you should try bowling with a cap and see if it helps. I mean, we've seen what you're bowling without a cap, and maybe you're missing out on something here, chap. But no real aggression here from Smuts and Rickleton. Just 6 from the first 4 balls. I mean, it'll be interesting if they're in a case. I mean, are they going straight out here to try and get a lead? Is it a case of, you know, let's try and get to close to what the Eagles did, but let them set? That's a good shot. That's been spanked straight down the ground. It'll be cut off though. Right, first over, 7 without loss. Smuts and Rickleton at the crease. What's interesting, I mean, one assumes they're going to tee off. Indeed, Petla Choir will join Aiden Markham as the opening bowler. I think this is a format that'll suit him, a bit of variation. He's always been one that has a knack of picking up wickets. Let's see if he can pick up one here. Decent start, just a single. Well, we're going to push for 2 here. I think it is in the gap, so they will get 2. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how Petla Choir goes. I mean, he's somebody that likes to mix it up, likes to change things around a bit, bowls with a lot of variations. He seems to have that knack for taking wickets, which is a really, really good thing to have as a bowler. I mean, there are just certain bowlers when you think in and around the world that just seem to be able to make something happen out of nothing. He is one of those bowlers. Doesn't have out and out pace, relies on his variation, so very much a modern bowler. Flick off the legs there from Smuts. Nothing too hectic in terms of trying to tee off anything like that. What's very odd is that Chris Morris made himself unavailable to play, but is currently sitting in the commentary box. So I'm not quite sure what's happening there. But as a result, we're seeing Tando Ntini and Gerald Kutsia. So let's not complain too much. Yeah, Petla Choir aiming for the top of off there. It's a good line. It's a good length. I think what you don't want to do in this format is give them any width. I think if you can, Adila has a very good slow ball, also a very good knuckle ball when he nails it. But I think it's a format where you don't want to give the batsman any width. You don't want to give them too much to play with. If you can just sort of bowl pretty much stump to stump, that's probably your best idea. And if they do get, if you miss your length and they take you apart, that'll be a 4. Okay, so slightly misses length there, and Smuts goes a bit across the line, hits it over mid off. So 15 for none after 1.4. First real show of aggression there from John Smuts. He is a man that can hit a very long ball. He's a very large chap. Had fitness issues which saw him being dropped from the Proteas. So one hopes he's over that sort of thing. But representing big cricketers all around the world, so I appreciate him. You know, we are very underrated. Well, I don't think he'll appreciate being part of our club, to be honest. If you haven't already, don't forget to enter the competition. In fact, after this inning, I might just pop out and go and grab the shirt, and you can see what we are looking to win. Although it's green, so it'll probably just disappear, to be honest. Morris' Protea future is done. Good to see youngsters getting more involved. I agree. I think Chris Morris was very good in the World Cup last year, and I was very surprised actually by how good he was. I mean, he's always been a bit of an X-factor player that they always say, which just means that for me that they're almost a bit inconsistent, but on their day can be very good. But he is. I mean, he is one of those players. On his day, you can bowl well, you can hit a long ball. So he is he can be a very, very useful player. But I think consistency is just his issue. And he never really knuckled down and decided he wanted to have a Test career or he wanted to have a prolonged ODI career. Very much sort of jumped on the trend of T20 specialists, which is fine, I suppose. Everybody has to have their strengths. Obviously, it doesn't really help when it comes to Test match cricket, but I think as long as we have enough youngsters around that still see the value in Test match cricket and still willing to put in the effort to sort out their technique, so they are good enough to play Test match cricket, then that's good to see. But yeah, we are 17 for none after 2, chasing 66 for 1. Kingfishers 56 for 2. It's very weird to look at a scoreboard and see three teams. But I think so far the format hasn't been terrible. I mean, obviously we're still in the first half, but I mean it's quite cool to see different combinations, different bowlers having a go at different batsmen. Markham provided us a lot of boundaries, which I think we thought we'd see more of. But here he goes, Ngidi, the man of the hour. And that should be just a single. Yeah, obviously Ngidi sparking a lot of conversation, debate over the Black Lives Matter at the moment. Caused quite a big reaction when he came out and said, I think it was a complete overreaction. He didn't say anything needed to change. He just said that it's important and we need to discuss it. And there's no doubt we'll be having those conversations within the Proteas. And then there's a lot of knee-jerk reactions, I think, which were completely blown out of proportion. But CSA has come out and supported Ngidi, which has been good to see. Took a while for them to sort of take a stance, but they've now fully backed their bowler, and that's good. And I mean, conversation is what you need, and regardless of what the issue is, the best thing to do is just to talk about it, to make more people aware, and that's what Ngidi wants to do. And having those conversations will be really, really good for Cricket South Africa, who's had a bit of a up and down past in terms of that. We had Makai and Tini coming out talking about his experience, which was quite sad to hear about some of the stuff that he went through. But yeah, so we have to see that they are backing Ngidi and a decent start here. First 2 balls, 3 runs so far. So that should be a wide. I think that's the first extra of the match. Yeah. His commentators are as surprised as me. That's the first extra of the day, so that's interesting. A wide down leg there from Ngidi. Recently named the ODI Player of the Year, which was thoroughly deserved, and so good to see him back. I mean, this is a player who, if he can stay fit and play 6-7 years of cricket, he is going to break lots of records. His wickets to match and ball ratio is ridiculous. I mean, we always talk about KG Obada. We know how good KG Obada is. But Ngidi is a special player. And if he's fit and he's bowling well, he hasn't quite hit the pace that... Ooh, that's up. That should land safe. Actually, that's all over the boundary. What a shot that is from Smuts. Just sort of picks it up and helps it on his way. That's obviously a bit of pace there from Ngidi. But he's a player who's come back. He's obviously had his fitness issues. He's lost a bit of weight. So looking slim and trim. But what a bowler he is on his day. I mean, we remember that match against Australia where he defended that in that last over, and what a performance he put in. So I mean, Ngidi Rabada, that could be a brilliant combination for years to come. And I mean, if they are then complemented rather by the likes of Kutsia, Tando Ntini, Lenton Stearman, Andrew Nokia, what a privilege. That's well played. That's just a bit of a slow ball, pitches it up nice and early and guides the way. And this is good stuff from John Smuts. Maybe went to 31 after none, 31 for none after 2.4 rather. Yeah, very well played. And that's the thing. There's always going to be a boundary behind the keeper, because with 6 fielders you can't afford to have a third man or a fine leg. Try out the back of the hand, slow ball, picks it up quite nice and early. John Smuts and just adjusts. So well played by the veteran. Now I know if you haven't entered our competition to win a shirt, you can enter, I think on the 3T Cricket website, you can enter to win one of these shirts. I think if I had to win one of these shirts, I'd probably want the Eagles. I'm not quite sure the yellow would look very good for me of the Kites. The Kingfisher's green's quite nice, but I think the Eagles for me have probably got the nicest shirt. Do you think CSA is doing enough domestically to improve the quality of cricketers we produce for the big tournaments? Oh, why doesn't he take it off? We should have been out there. It's a bit of poor keeping away from Kyle Rain. You'll have to learn with that. I think CSA does need to do more. I think my biggest problem with domestic cricket is accessibility. We don't watch any of the 4-day cricket. We still see the Tanzania Super League, which is yeah, we see a lot of stars, but I mean it's 2 months. But the problem is we can't watch any of the 4-day franchise series unless you go to the stadium, so the crowds are very poor. And then lots of people then aren't very interested in the Momentum One Day Cup, which is sad. But so I think we need to relook at why there aren't more audiences and the feasibility of a cricket career. I think the pipeline needs to be broadened a bit. I mean, when you look at rugby in South Africa, the pipeline is huge. You think of the Gold Cup and how it's club rugby and how big it's been. Similar parts of that would be really useful for cricket. I think club cricket is something that is not used enough in South Africa. I think it's a chance for club cricket. I think it's a chance for old players play with young players, pass down some experience. I think it's really useful. I mean, from the club cricket I've played, I've learned so much playing club cricket from playing against really good players who are a bit older. I've played against ex-Zimbabwe internationals. I've played against Mfuneko and Gum, which is a really, really cool experience. So I think club cricket's very underrated, and I'd like to see CSA doing more for club cricket and making it more incentive to play club cricket. Putting in some prize money, trying to get a couple of. I mean, how cool would it be to have a club tournament and the winners, you can have a televised tournament and watch some club cricket, and stuff like that. I mean, if anybody watched the over 50s World Cup, I played with two of the guys who went to South Africa. And I mean, he should have been out. Bjorn pertains into the attack, second ball. Smuts comes down the wickets, completely misses out, and Carl Verheyen misses it as well. So now there's overthrows. Oh my goodness, it's all happening. This is amateur hour here from the Eagles. Carl Verheyen has not had a good start from behind the stumps. Smile on your face, but I think he's missed out on a run out so far, and then a stumping. So not a good start from the youngster. Hopefully he can redeem himself with a bat. But yeah, I think club cricket is something that CSA could do more for. I think the franchise system will remain, despite that they did want to change that, but I think from the looks of it, it will remain. But I'd like to see some more pipelines, maybe some more junior setups, and more attention being paid, so it's a bit more accessible to the South African public, and we don't just wait. And I think the Mzansi Super League made a big impact in terms of being on SuperSport 3 for people to be able to access it. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that cricket needs to be more accessible in South Africa. Always hit his teammate, which it isn't possibly as accessible as we want it to be right now. If you're watching, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit a like button there. Let's have a chat in the comments. What do you think so far? What do you think of the format? Which teams are you? Oh, that's a bit of a sore one. Smuts manages to nail Rickerton. Woo! Doesn't really get that away. Tries to really swat that over a square leg. But Rickerton gets a rare turn on strike. He hasn't had a strike so far. Smuts has been doing most of the work here, but 1 ball to go, 40 for none. On track for 80th if they keep going at this kind of run rate, which would be the high score. So the Kites really looking good, and I think the Kites did have a very good squad. And it is a format where one batsman comes off and you put yourself in charge quite easily. So, and there's a boundary from Smuts. So 44 from 4. What a start this is from the Kites. They're looking good here to set the highest total, which will mean they will bat first in the second half. And then it will be the Eagles followed by the Kingfishers. No, sorry, it'll be the Kingfishers followed by the Eagles. Or will it? I don't know, the format's so confusing. Lloyd Trueware's backing the Kites. It's all very well to just back the Kites. They're doing the best. You can't just, drop that now. I mean, were you backing the Kites the entire time? This is the question, Lloyd. The Kites are looking very good here. Kingfishers 56 for 2, Eagles 66 for 1, Kites 44 for none. Malcolm, the high score of the match so far, what an innings that was, but Smuts definitely trying to outdo him. Yeah, he's on 30 or 15. Ryan Rickerton on strike here, 10 of 9. Oh, big appeal. He's gone. He's gone. There we go. Petliquire gets a breakthrough. A slow ball. Rickerton trying to paddle it around the back. Doesn't get as much quantity. Once hits him and he's dead in front. And Petliquire has the breakthrough. And that is exactly what the Eagles needed. Not quite the danger man, because it didn't quite get John Smuts, but that's a big breakthrough. I mean, wickets are, more to the point, it's a dot ball. And I mean, that could be as valuable as the wicket itself, actually. Bit of a dance there from Pettit. He's chopped with life. He's into a second over, which means he'll only have one. So brought him to make something happen, and he has on his very first ball. And Ryan Rickleton has to go. And the captain comes in, Temba Bavuma. And I think at the moment what he'll just try and do is put John Smuts on the strike. I mean, if Smuts is seeing the ball and hitting it so well, then by all means just keep him on strike and keep him doing what he's been doing. First ball, and Mavuma gets off strike immediately. They should come back for two, doesn't the gap. Yeah, I sort of think this is a format where Temba Bavuma has a chance to bat with Dave Miller. There are definitely threes on offer. It's the LBW decision. Yeah, a difficult one to see if he got any bat, but I mean, as soon as he knew that there was no bat involved, he was standing right in front. So, a good decision there from the umpire. Pettit acquires chopped with life, and here he goes. Bavuma, he should run another two. That should probably be a one, unfortunately, with Smuts at the moment. Yeah, so I mean, so I think there's what probably the frustration for Bavuma is the fact that he'll want to take on twos wherever he can, and John Smuts has got the pace that he does. .47 for one, slowed down a bit all of a sudden, and one more over after this. Oh, that's a swing and a miss. This is a good over from Pettit. It's gone wicket, 2-1 dot. And it's amazing how that's pulled the game right back. 44 after 4 overs. You know, suddenly if they keep going, looking good to score the most. But suddenly 47 for 1. Pettit has brought them straight back into the game. Obviously 66 for 1 is the score to beat at the moment by the Eagles. But let's see if the Cards can get there. One over that from Pettit so far. I mean, it's just 4 runs from it, and 5 balls and a wicket. So the perfect start, really. And they've really brought themselves back into it. What's interesting is the fact that, you know, obviously with 3 teams being, you managed to limit the Cards here, and it's not just benefiting the Eagles; it's benefiting the Kingfishers as well. You're in the dugout. Right, there we go. End of the 5th over, 49 for 1. So, yeah, I mean, 11 runs takes, well, sorry, about 7 runs takes them level with Kingfishers. So 8 runs to beat the Kingfishers. 17 runs takes them Eagles level with Eagles. So they'll need at least 18 runs if the Kites are to top score here. Smuts is there, 31 of 17. Every team has had one player who's sort of come off so far, which has been interesting. So Smuts are the one for the Kites, and let's see if what he can do in the last over here. Alright, here we go. Junior Dollar into the attack, sporting a beard from the lockdown. Always usually has good pace. Unfortunately, somebody who often goes for quite a bit of runs. You know, if he has an off day, so he'll have to start well here. and will want to try and keep them to about maybe I think if they can keep them to about 10 this over, this will be a good over for in a good situation for the Eagles. They'll have them in front with a 10 run lead, which will be useful. But let's see what Junior Dala can do. A little bit of a bat change here. Straight on the stumps and whipped away. That'll just be a single. Yeah, Bavuma just happy there to get Smuts back on strike. He's been striking the ball very well. Just a wrong put himself, Junior Dala. But hats off to somebody who has been the most traditional or textbook action, still manages to make. How much the Eagles made? The Eagles made 66 runs. So that is currently the leading score at the moment. That comes Junior Dala for second delivery. And Smuts has found the boundary there. Pulls him away. Picks it up quite early. Smuts going really, really well here. That's 54 for 1. Kai's just two runs behind the Kingfishers. So it looks like unless Smuts really has a really big over, they will probably land up somewhere in the middle of the first two teams. Gets on it a bit early, punches on the toe of the bat, but gap in the field, enough pace on it to find the boundary. And now he cuts it away. For 1, 3 balls remaining. They'll have to score 12 runs to lead into the break. So have to find a couple of boundaries here. But yeah, 2 more runs to beat the Kingfishers, which means the Kingfishers will bat last and chase down whatever the other two set. And that's a dot ball there from Junior Dala. So that's a bit of a spanner in the works here. Tim Bavuma trying to play a cut up on the top, but ball gets away from him. So good return here from Junior Dala. And that's been gloved. They'll probably get 2 for that. So that takes them ahead of the Kingfishers. So the Kingfishers have scored the least amount of runs. So Kai's now 57 for 1. Junior Dala with 1 more ball to bowl. So the Eagles will have the advantage. They have scored the most in the first half of the match, and it is a half, like literally the first half of the match. They are now breaking it into half. So there will be a half time of sorts, I imagine. I'm not sure what the changeover is going to be. And that's been just chipped over there, and that'll be a single. So 58 is what the Kites finish on. So yeah, not much to separate them, to be honest. 66, 58, 56. So quite a tight match so far. AB's Eagles now are leading the game at the moment. But all the teams in it really. Well, there we have it, the first half of 3-team cricket. And what does everybody think? I think it was no, it wasn't too bad. I think it took a while to get going, but I think some nice cricket shots there. A good innings by Smuts, who remains there. Markham looking very, very sharp. Maybe the Villiers to Markham will obviously resume for the Eagles, so I think they're probably the best placed side to go on to win. But anything can happen. All the teams there and thereabout. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, everybody. Go to foreversports.net and enter our competition. We will be drawing a winner for the ODI, Project ODI shirt at the end of the game. So if you haven't entered, now is the time to go and enter just visit foreversports.net for those entries and stuff like that. And yeah, tell me who you are supporting, who you're backing. What do you make of the first half of the Solidarity Cup? Is it something that we could see more of? Is it a format that has no place in the world of cricket? What are we thinking here? What is everybody's opinion so far? So a bit of a break here where all the teams can. So there we go. 56 for 2 from the KG's Kingfishers, 66 for 1 by AB's Eagles, and Queenie's Kites 58 for 1. Right, so that's half time. I will join you guys in a bit for the second half of the 3-team cricket. But at this stage, the AB's Eagles are in front, and they will lead with a 8-run advantage in the second half. For all that and more, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the page. I'll be back in just a few minutes. When will the second half start? I think it's about a 10 or 15 minute turnover. I don't think it'll be too long, so I imagine about 10 minutes side. It would be nice to see a super over per side in both halves. If you're talking about a super over like the RPL, all the runs are doubled, then we could be into something there. But yeah, all the action will be back, and I imagine a couple of minutes, so don't go away. I'll be back with you guys very, very soon. One fucking time, like fucking plan something. Yeah, come on, it's fine. I'm not gonna be done for him. You know I'm not gonna be done for him. What's the fucking rush? Half time. It's only halfway through. It's not an hour and a half. Then you stop as well. Game half time. Fucking get up with it. Sorry about that. Hey everybody, and welcome back to 3-team cricket. This is the Solidarity Cup, and it looks like we are finally about to get back underway. The Eagles are batting, Kites are bowling, and the Eagles will obviously have the opportunity to try and post their best, to try and post first innings score. Well, second innings. Well, I suppose it's only one innings, so it's still the first innings, but obviously only one, but two passes to the first innings. So Aiden Markham is there on 47 off 23 balls, so he's been in great form. He's been looking really, really good. So he's obviously going to try and he'll be the one to try and get them to a big score. But let's see what he can do. No catch there. There was a chance to catch initially and a bit of a slow start here. Jonathan Smuts is the bowler, just one run so far off the first two deliveries. So a decent start from the Kites, and obviously, you know, now it's about squeezing every team to as little runs as possible, because the less runs you concede. De Villiers finds the boundary there, very well played, gives himself a bit of space and hits straight through. The projected score at the moment is 131. Let's try and sort out a scoreboard, shall we? Oh, and De Villiers has gone again, and oh, he can't get it. The rain catches out there trying to pick it up. He can't get there, unfortunately. But that is two back-to-back boundaries. That is a big six from De Villiers. The Eagles are turning it up now, and this could be devastating if for the rest of the teams if they can't close this up. And it's one of those things, if the Kites bowl badly here, it means the Kingfishers have actually got more to do. So, you know, there's the Kingfishers, you can't do much anymore, except hope that the Kites. Oh dear, that's the third one. Oh my, De Villiers has just turned it on. He is flying here. Well, he was quiet in the first innings. He certainly hasn't been quiet in this innings. De Villiers is back with a bang. Oh, and a bit of deft touch. So he goes to get the single there. So I was having a bit of issues with the scorecard, so I'll bring that up as soon as we can. That's overthrows, and they're going to take again. That's very poor from the Kites, and that's not been a very good start. I mean, that's 6, 12, 16, 9, 20 runs off the first over. That is the worst possible start they could have had. And jeepers, suddenly the Eagles predict their total to 86, building quite a big lead there. Right, O'Keefe will bowl the second over, and he's really going to have to try and bring it back here. The Eagles 86 for 1 after that first over going for 20 runs. So not the start the Kites would have wanted at all. But AB de Villiers has announced himself. He has hit 2 big sixes as well as 4 there. And yeah, unless they can get under control, this could turn ugly quite quickly, unfortunately. De Villiers clips it out there to square leg. They should get 2. They're good runners. They're both good runners, so that should be fairly easy 2. I'll just bear with me. I'm busy trying to sort out the scorecard right now. Right, unfortunately, the only scorecard I can source at the moment has got. Oh, that's a good ball. It is basically scoring it as 2 different innings. So just combine the two, the 22. So the 22 for none in this innings, but the 86 for, 88 for 1 is the sum total. So it's a bit of a strange way they decided to do the scorecard. I'll see if I can find a better one now. But it's been a good start for the Eagles here, who go right ahead. The Villiers seems to be turning it on. And I'll tell you, if he really gets going, then this could get very ugly very quickly. Look here into the attack here. Oh, that's initially looked like a bit of a poor delivery, but it worked out quite well. The partnership is 73 of 33 balls, so these two going very strong here. It's brilliant. In case you haven't seen it, the rain has provided a whole bunch of ball fetchers. They've got their nets out and their helmets, and they've at this stage been made to work quite a lot here. De Villiers managed to find the boundary. But good work here from Villiers. Managed to bring it back, but it was a bit of a poor start in the first over. But some good grafting here to bring the score back. Oh, that's a good shot. Straight down the ground there from De Villiers. He moves on to 37 of 16 deliveries. It's 96 for 1 after 8 overs. 4 overs remaining in the Eagles innings, and let's see what they can post as a first innings score. Still be trying to sort out the scoreboard, so apologies for that. That's 96 for 1 at the moment. That's good. That's a good edge. They'll go down to 4. That's 100. That's 100 up for the Eagles. 100 for 1. Markham moves on to this 50, the first ever 50 in 3-team cricket. So big ups to him there. And yeah, a bit of whip, not too much width, but swings his hands through the delivery and gets a good healthy edge on that, and that'll take it all the way to the boundary. Obviously, there being no fielders out there, so. Very well played innings from Ed and Markham so far. Oof, that's a dot ball. The score 101 at the moment after 8.2. Markham 53 of 28. De Villiers 37 of 16. Bjorn Hendricks currently bowling. He's 0 for 13. So a good start there from the Eagles, who have really sort of put the pedal down to the metal since they've come out. Been really positive stuff so far from De Villiers. At this stage, the projected score is 144, which is would pretty much be a winning score. Markham gives himself a bit of space, and he's carved it out, and that reaches the boundary as well. Markham just can't do anything wrong at the moment. Brilliant stuff there from the Eagles batsmen, and I think if these two really get in and keep going, then it's going to be a tough chase for the other teams. Oh, that's again, and that is a 6 runs. Markham having an absolute field day, 63 of 30 balls, and this is getting very expensive, and the Kingfishers won't be appreciating what the Kites are doing. I mean, at this stage, Eagles move on to 110. They are the team in charge, and yeah, listen, the Kingfishers will not be impressing in that dugout. This score is climbing higher and higher and higher, and in case if they don't manage to suss this out, then this is going to become a one-sided affair fairly quickly. So yeah, but what a brilliant display from Aidan Markham so far. $110 for 1 at the moment. Off 8.4, this has been quite the over, and here we go again. Oh, he managed to squeeze it outside. That'll be a single out there, and yeah, what a performance so far from Aidan Markham. 64-31, 111 runs so far. So how this works now is whatever the Eagles chase, the Kites will come and bat second and obviously try and chase that down. And if they can't, then the Kingfishers will bat last. And basically how it works is at the end of the game, at the top, they look at the scores. Whoever's got the top is the gold winner. Oh, he got straight up. That goes up in the air. There's no man back, so that'll just be a just a little bit of a fumble. That'll just be a 2 there. And what a performance here from the Eagles. They come back, they've gone from ball 1, they've found themselves up to 113 already, 3 overs still to go, and I mean, what a performance so far. And I think this is where, you pay the bill. I mean, the fact that they've got wickets in hand, they've got 3 overs now, they've got absolutely nothing to lose. It's a very low risk situation now. If they use wickets, they've got players to come in. So that's where I suppose the argument for being cautious in the first innings, it can work out one at a time. We haven't really seen too many sort of tactics that have changed between the two teams, apart from Reza Hendricks, who started by bowling himself. The Kites went up with Rickleton and Smuts early, but Markham, top scorer at the moment, 64. What a performance! What a day he's had. So it'll be interesting to see how the Kites will try and respond. They're responding with Lucas Apamle comes into bowl. He's currently got bowled 2 overs for 1 over for 12 runs. So he'll want to try and better those figures, but let's see what he can do. He's up against Aidan Markham, who goes straight up. That's high. That's high. Is that big? Is it enough? Oh no, he's missed it. And that's a drop catch, and that's the second drop of the day, really. And how costly will that be? And it looks like Victorious has dropped him over the boundary. Markham moves to 70 or 32. But we'll have to see what happens there. I think the cameramen have also had a bit of a long holiday, so they are missed a few things. I think they're also down to skeleton staff at the moment, so they haven't quite had all the angles we're used to. But let's see what happens here. So it goes straight up in the air. Definitely doesn't carry all the way. Victorious just misreads it. He does. He catches it over the boundary. That's 6 runs. Completely misreads it. He comes in too early and the ball goes over his head. So not a good piece of fielding there from Dwayne Victorious, and he'll be very disappointed with that. But that's a partnership of 103 or 43 deliveries. Eagles move up to 119 for 1. And yeah, they need to really respond to it. Let's see what they can do. Oh, he goes again. That looks a bit better. It's high again. And there he goes. He takes it second time lucky. Carbon copy delivery of the first ball. Dwayne Victorious takes the catch. He's not happy. He knows he should have taken it earlier. And he's just costed 6 runs there. There's a bit of a smile. Good cash. Villiers Markham went straight up. What? Oh dear, now I think he gives him a no ball. Let's see what happens. Do we have another Morne Morkel in disguise? What is going on here? It looks like it could be a no ball. I think a no ball's been called. So your look could kill. Sapamda does not look happy. Ooh, that's tight. No, I think that's okay. I think he will go. Waiting to see what happens. Obviously, it only has to be a little bit behind the line for it to be a legal delivery, but just waiting to see. Aidan Markham might be on his way. Pamela has bowled a very close to being no ball, so we have to wait and see what the story is. Oh, that's tight. No, that's not going to help the angle there. Oh, he's really towed that line here. We're waiting to see if Aiden Markham is in fact actually out. But if you're watching, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you haven't already, make sure you go and enter our competition to win. He is out. He's been sent on his way. And that brings an end to a very good inning. 70 of 33. What a performance that is from Aiden Markham. Yeah, Deep was a big power hitting there. And you can talk about fielding restrictions all you want. If you're clearing the boundary, it doesn't matter. You can have 40 fielders out there. If you clear the boundary, then no issues whatsoever. So what an innings from Aiden Markham. That is very well played for that and gotten the Eagles off to a really good start. So let's see if they can make that count. And wait to see who's going to be coming in next. De Villiers obviously still in there. Will be interesting to see what becomes a winning score here. And that's Andile Petliquara who's walked to the middle to join De Villiers. So, yeah, look, we all know that he can hit a long ball as well if he wants to. 24 years of age. Bit of debate about whether he is an all-rounder or not. For me, he's still a bowler that can bat a bit. I think there's no doubt he can hit a ball, and his hand-eye coordination is very good. But you know, I think whether if he can just add a bit of consistency, he will become a genuine all-rounder. I think a lot of the time it's just a matter of choosing the right shots. You know, he's very good in the sweep and a reverse sweep, but sometimes, you know, just playing them in the wrong situations, which gets him out cheaply, which is very frustrating because there's no doubt he's got the talent to become an all-rounder. But let's see what he can do here. So everybody's just joining us now. There's the situation. The Eagles have come in the second half and completely taken the Kites apart, to be honest. Markham's just departed for 70 runs of 33 deliveries, so brilliant innings by him. And De Villiers looks like he's in fine form. He's just smoked a cover drive straight through toward the boundary, so really good stuff there. Eagles currently 123 for 2 after 9.3 overs. De Villiers on 43 of 18, so let's see if he can get to his 50 in under 20 balls. How good is it to see this man back in the South African setup? We don't know if he's going to play Pro Tours or what the story is, but it's really just good to have somebody of his quality around. And there we go. Little deft touch. That'll go to the boundary. 47 of 19. There we go. De Villiers is turning it up. And if they continue going like this, I don't see any of these teams getting anywhere close to the Eagles score. Very well played. Picks up the slow ball, just leaves his bat out there. No third man. Takes this 4 rounds. Easier as you like. Very well played. That's Avery de Villiers at his best. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. You just pick the field, pick the gap, and that's what he does. That's full toss, and he carves around there, so he will not get 50-20 balls. That should be 2 though. No, it's 1 run. So that's De Villiers moves on to 48 of 20 balls. What an innings from the Eagles captain. And yeah, still 2 overs to go after this. So at the current run rate, looking at 140 plus. And it's amazing how this game can suddenly get away from you. I mean, the other teams, there's going to be no hanging around now. When the Kites and the Kingfishers come into bat, they will have to go from ball 1 because of what De Villiers and Market have just done after this. So let's have to wait and see. 1 more ball left of the over. Andile Petliquara will face his first delivery. And I mean, with 7 balls to go, 4 wickets still in hand. Let's just, I'm sure we're going to see him try to hit something out the screws here. Oh, he chops on. He chops on. That's a golden duck. Sapamla with the break. That's 2 wickets in the over. What a performance from the new Sapamla. 6 wicket, 4-4-1 wicket, and that is. I mean, it's not. I mean, the biggest thing is that it's a dot ball. But Petliquara just a bit of a half shot. Really didn't really know what he was doing. Chops on. Didn't add anything with the bat there. Let's see this again. So Ludo Sapamla. Yeah, targeting just about the stumps, and nothing shot really. Kind of just puts his bat in the way, and it just completely chops on. So not Petliquara's best moments with bat. let's hope he can redeem himself. But the Eagles 128 for 3, 2 overs left to go, 12 deliveries. Let's see what they can do. I think they're looking at 150 here, which if de Villiers is on strike is definitely possible. And the Kingfishers will not be chuffed with what they've seen. They managed to restrict the Eagles to 66 in their first innings, and as it stands, it looks like, I mean, they're 62 already. So the Eagles have definitely taken the Kite's departure, and the Kingfishers, as the team batting last, will not be thanking them. But I mean, to be fair, Kingfishers and the Kites are only 2 runs between them, so much of a muchness really in terms of when they will walk out to bat and what they will finish start on. Calvary comes up to bat, didn't have the best game, well, best 6 overs behind the stumps in the first 6 overs he had, but a really, really talented batsman, 23 years old, already played a couple of games for the Proteas. We've seen him at domestic level, and he's a really good batsman. So, but de Villiers is up against Amrit Norkia, and he just cuts back there. They'll try to run it 2 there. That's well done by Dwayne. Oh, he gets away from him, but he should pick it up. Dwayne Pretorius manages to cut it off, and they will get back for 2. We have back for 3. Actually, that's very good running. A bit of a fumble there from Dwayne Pretorius, having a bit of an issue out there in the field, a bit of rustiness coming through. And the Eagles move on to 131 for 3. Yeah, so Dwayne Pretorius has not had the best of days in the field, but we can forgive him for a bit of rustiness. We saw Tandontini put down a catch earlier as well. Calvarain hadn't ever read his best game behind the stumps. Tanner Klaasen dropped AB de Villiers on 10 now. So I suppose Kingfishers, if they're taking their chances, de Villiers wouldn't be there to be punishing the Kites like he is. Eagles move on to 132 for 3. Varane gets off the strike with a single of his first ball, and back to the AB de Villiers show we go. Not long to go until we do the draw for our Proteas ODI jersey. So if you haven't entered, please don't forget to go to Forever Sports and enter. It's restricted to those living in South Africa. Unfortunately, hopefully we can do some stuff a bit more global at a later stage, but go to foreversports.net and make sure you have entered. And if you've already entered, there is a bonus entry that we've added this morning. It is worth 15 entries. So, oh, that's a full toss. And he managed to get that away. That is an AB de Villiers at his best. Full toss, completely hits him for surprise, and all he does is slap it back over his head for 4 runs. I don't quite know how he did it. It's a complete mistake. It's waist touched, and he just manages to get through the ball. I think it bounces just before the over. That is just ball and eye coordination. And 1 bounce 4, and AB de Villiers goes to his 50. Very well played. 50. He's only 55 22. At this stage, the projected score is 155, which, if you're resuming your score on 56, means you have to put on 100 runs in 6 overs. So this is becoming a very, very big ask for the other 2 teams. Let's see what de Villiers has in store here. Oh, and that's just been pulled straight. That is AB de Villiers. Where are the rain catches? He's out there in the. He's got the net. That is AB de Villiers. 61 of 23. What a play he is. And if there were any doubts about whether he still has the quality, well, he's just shown it now. Get that man back into the Proteas right now. That is a great shot. Bounces him and he just pulls him in front of square for 6. Thank you very much. Cheers. No issue. What a shot that is. And that's the thing. He was dropped on about 10 runs. So, yeah, 100 Klaasen will not be oh, and he's gone straight up. That's up high. Oh, he's caught him. That's a good catch. Very well done. And that's the end of de Villiers. 61 of 23. What an innings that was. And I think he's a good catch about Bjorn Hendricks, but the damage is done. And yeah, I think suddenly advantage Eagles, very much so. And has he led his team to victory? We'll have to wait and see. But that is a great knock from one of the best in the world, best ever, really. And AB de Villiers, you can be very proud of that knock. I think if there were any discussions about whether he comes back or not, the answer is yes. Yes, he does come back based on that. That is a brilliant innings from AB de Villiers. Eagles 142 for 4, which means we might have a last man standing here soon. If they do get the 7 wicket, I mean, they'll have to take a lot of wickets. I don't see it happening in this one. But if they do take all the wickets, the 8th batsman can stand by himself. And Kyle Verreynne has been joined by Bjorn Fontaine, who can bat a bit. He's had a couple of good knocks for the Lions. AB is a legend. He really is timeless. I mean, when you think he's 36 years old, definitely playing in the World Cup next year. And somebody of his fitness, as long as the reactions are still there, suddenly, if he's playing well next year, he's only 2 years away from another World Cup. And then you have to start sitting there saying, well, he'll be 39, but if he's good enough, and from the looks of it, he's just not slowing down. He's looked very good today. Him and Markham have been the standout batsmen so far. Jan Milan had a good knock. John Smith is still in, so we have to wait and see what he can do. But yeah, De Villiers looking as good as ever. So the big question is then, would you take De Villiers back in the Protea setup? Cricketing wise, I think you have to. You can look at all the sort of reasons and why he left in the past and stuff like that. But I think it's a lot of, and to be fair, we've had a lot of these conversations, but I think there's been a lot of poor administration from CSA in the last couple of decades, and they are starting to fix it now, which is really good to see. But so I'd like to see a bit of a sort of a clean slate. We need to relook at a lot of things. I'd like to see De Villiers coming back in. I think he adds so much to the team. He's just an X-factor player. If he comes off, he can win you a game. He can win you tournaments by himself. But here comes Lutus Apamli in for the last over of the Eagles' innings. Bjorn Fontaine on strike. He hasn't faced a ball yet. And he gets a single quickly. They should run for a 2 here. Yeah, Kyle Verreynne is very quick between the wickets. And he's, not quite back as quickly, but good running in the end, and they're safe. And here it is. So 5 more balls, and the first ever innings of 3-team cricket will be concluded, and the Eagles will have posted the target that the other 2 teams need to chase down. Good piece of fielding. There's that Dave Miller. Now he hasn't come into bat yet, so I think, if obviously a Miller decides to have a good time with the bat, anything's happening. But Bavuma and John Smith, they can't die wondering. They're going to have to go for it, and regardless of if they lose wickets, they've got wickets in hands. They need to go from it from ball 1 if they have any hope of trying to catch this. Down on the ground, the Eagles sort of obviously 2 brand new batsmen, so 2 big wickets in the previous overs. So I think if Kais can restrict them to 150 odd, they're still going to have to put on 90 odd runs. The Eagles have scored, I don't want to lie to you, 78 runs here in this 80 runs now. So there's no doubt that it is possible, but there would have to be some very impressive hitting if they were to catch the Eagles' target at the moment. So let's see. I'm not quite sure what he's trying to do there. Bjorn Fontaine. Well, he gets the 4, to be fair to him. That's the benefit of the no field. Is he walks across the stumps and sort of just paddles it down to where a fine leg would be. But with obviously there being fielding restrictions, he manages to find the boundary. And that is very valuable runs there. Suddenly the Eagles 150. Yeah, I think the Eagles have it in the bag, to be honest. He had to work around there, sort of gets in a bad position and kind of just paddles it. But well played in the end by Bjorn Fontaine. Right, let's see what Lutus Apamli can do. 3 balls to go. Eagles 150 for 4. Bjorn Fontaine on strike. He's on 8 or 3. Oh, that's wide. And that's a poor keeping there. Ryan Rickleton doesn't quite catch the ball there. They've kept it through for a single, so that's 2 wide. Not a good ball by Apamli. Too short. Fair decision, and that's poor, I think. Considering you've only had 1 other extra this match, to give an extra in a death situation, this is what you got to think. You're up bowling in the depth. You're up against it. You need this over to be small. To bowl a wide, short wide, is poor from Spamler, and poor keeping. So a lot of rustiness, and I think we have to understand that there will be rustiness, obviously, given the fact that these people haven't played in so long. But let's see what he can do. Kyle Verreynne gives himself some space and doesn't quite pick up the pace of the ball. Spews out towards the mid-wicket region, and they scamper through for 2. Suddenly this is becoming a very big ask. 2 runs shy. If they get another 4 or 5 runs, both teams will have to score 100 within 6 overs to win this game. So I think the Eagles have it, to be honest. I think they've they've come out and batted really, really well. But anything can happen. There are lots of gaps in the field, so there should be lots of boundaries available if you can pick the gaps, but they're going to have to be very aggressive, which I suppose is what we want to see. I mean, we all love, oh, that should be, yeah, that'll be fine because he walks across. Well played by Pamela, just pushes it a bit wide with rain coming down, trying to give himself to a position there. But yeah, I mean, considering that what we love about T20 cricket is the fact that there are so many boundaries and big hitting and innovation. You know, there's so many gaps in the field that as long as you're hitting the ball hard and it's in a gap, you will get a boundary most of the time. So we want to see lots of action. I think this is what we're going to have to see in these next two innings because they've got to have to score 100 runs in 6 overs. And the last ball of the brain, 6 runs. There we go, the perfect finish. And I mean, that's for me a nail in the coffin. 160 for 4 after 12 overs. What a performance from the Eagles. Kyle Rain with the perfect finish. Lucas Pamela. Yeah, a bit of an off day for him, but 160 for 4. That is the target. That is the other two teams need to chase. They all need to end up on an 160 plus if they are to put themselves in gold medal territory. The cards go off. They will put some pads on and they will return. And yeah, I think that at this stage, I think the Eagles pretty much have it in the bag. Well, it's going to have to be a big ask from the other two teams. I don't see them doing it, but you never know. It's going to have to be a bit of a pitch hitting situation. What a player AB de Villiers. AB de Villiers, Aidan Markham, those two just completely set the platform. I mean, I think they scored 130 of the runs. So brilliant stuff there from those two. And good to see Aidan Markham coming good. So if we look at that, Markham 70 of 33, de Villiers 61 of 24, and then 8, 9, and 8. So just two players doing the bulk of the work. But yeah, in terms of the bowlers, so Nokia the best, 3 overs, 2 for 9, 2 for 27, economy of 9, very tidy stuff from him. It's permanently expensive, but took 2 wickets, got 15 runs. Pretorius was reasonably economical, only bowled 2 overs. So, I mean, obviously being the first game, we don't actually know what a good performance is. But I reckon 160 for 4 should be a winning score. But stay with me for a bit. I'm going to bring in my co-cricket lover and Forever Sports the Forever Sports podcast guest and Lloyd Viewers. So let's just get him in here. Let's see if we can. So we'll try to get him in here for a bit quickly. But yeah, so it's been an interesting second innings there, and I think 160 should be a winning score for the Eagles. Right, just trying to get Lloyd in here so we can chat to him and find out what he has to say about the first innings. Lloyd, can you hear me? Very well yourself. Okay, let me just bring you in. Okay, so Lloyd, welcome, and good to see that you managed to finally start watching. So what do you make of that innings there?
Oh, that was some very good batting from AB de Villiers. I really don't know what he's worried about not being in form. The man is in sublime form.
I know, that's an interesting point. I mean, he sort of said that everybody said, you know, are you going to come back and play? And he said, well, you know, first I have to see if I'm going to be good enough, if I warrant selection. Based on that, I can't really argue on against cricketing merits, can you?
Oh, no, definitely not. I was really, really impressed. And Aidan Markham as well, he seems to be in good nick. And so that's only good for us.
No, I think the biggest problem, now is that obviously it's difficult to choose on to say that this is form or not like that, especially given that there are so many gaps in the field. But what I was saying is if you do clear the boundary, it doesn't make much of a difference. But I think what is good to see about Markham is that a lot of his shots played. It wasn't a case of, you know, picking off a couple of shots going just in between gaps by chance, but clearing the boundary, and he just seems to be striking the ball really well. So if you were to take Markham to say the T20 World Cup, where are you batting? What number would you bat him?
I would not lie, considering the way he was batting today, definitely 2 or 3. He was batting really well, and if we can have someone with his aggression and with his eye, we can definitely have a good start.
Yeah, batting order has always become such a problem. 'Cause, I mean, we've had Quinton de Kock and Bavuma at the top of the order for our T20 lineup, and then if we now put in Markham at 3, I mean, yeah, you probably find your Villiers will have to come in at 3, so maybe Markham at 4. But then you still got the likes of Faf du Plessis, Janne Milan's been playing some good cricket. Dave Miller, where does he fit in? So I think suddenly we've got quite a lot of selection headaches when it comes to the bats, let alone the bowling. I mean, we've got so many good bowlers at the moment. But who would be your top 5 bats, your top 5 batting order if we had to go play it? If we play a T20 tomorrow and everyone is available, who would your top 5 be?
That is a tricky one, and I'm on the spot here.
No, we have to try and remember who's still around. We haven't played cricket for so long.
Okay. So I mean, definitely with how last season went, I'll probably keep Queenie and Bavuma at as the opening pair. And depending on if a B is coming or not, I'll put him at 3, Faf at 4, and Rassi at 5.
Okay, so yeah, about time Rassi this that's a whole lot. He didn't come off today, but
yeah, I mean, we all know what he can do.
So you've left out Aiden Markham there, hey?
That would be a tricky one to include Aiden Markham in there, but it's a good headache to have.
To be in that position where somebody like an Aiden Markham is being left out, and if somebody's not performing, then you do bring in Aiden Markham. I mean, you've got Dave Miller as well, and then you start looking at your all-rounders. Speak to me about Peter Fire, because I think he's always a contentious one. Is he an all-round option? Is he a genuine batting option, or do we think he's just more of a bowler that can offer something with the bat?
My thing with Andile, I think he is more of a bowler who can sometimes pull it off with the bat. I mean, besides that one innings when we played Australia in Durban where he got 46 odd or something, that was the only time I remember seeing Andile doing anything with the bat. Most of the times he's really good with the ball. So I think let's have him as a bowler who can bat rather than an all-rounder. And I'm sure we can get a few all-rounders from our domestic circuit.
Yeah, well, I mean, the one that they seem to be sort of backing is Dwayne Pretorius, with Graham Smith apparently asking him, please don't go overseas, stay here. You do have a future in the Proteas. But I mean, he sort of had limited chances, and I really rated Pretorius because I think he offers quite a lot with the bat. I mean, only in a limited format. Obviously, when he goes to Test cricket, I don't think he's quite got the technique and doesn't really bowl well enough for me to be in the Test match scene. But in a limited overs format, is Dwayne Pretorius our best all-rounder at the moment?
I really think so. On what we have at the moment, I would really give him a chance. But the only problem is with some of our pitches in South Africa, it's a batting pitch, so you really do need your 4 bowlers, and so he doesn't get a chance to play. But I mean, on one of those 50-50 pitches, I think Dwayne is our best option.
Yeah, I think what's been good with him is that he's really come a long way with the bat. I mean, we saw in the Nzan Super League final how he just completely decimated.
Definitely.
For the Paul Rocks. So, yeah, but interesting. So, Lloyd, let's stop there. We're about to come out for the second innings here. So, let's catch up in about 6 overs time, shall we?
All right. Cheers, Stevie.
Cool. Cheers, Lloyd. Which we were there, our cricket writers here at Forever Sports. But yeah, if you're keen to call in during one of these sort of things like that, we're going to be starting a whole bunch of like Discord groups and stuff like that where you can come in, and the whole point of Forever Sports is it's for the fans, it's by the fans. We love the sport, you love the sport, so we want to try and create a bit more engagement and give all fans a chance to have their say. So that was Lloyd who writes a lot of cricket articles for us. Soon we'll be open to fan submissions when it comes to articles. So, yeah, we want to hear what you have to think, because I think at the end of the day we hear so much from all the ex-professionals and stuff like that we want to try and give the fans a bit more voice. But yeah, so here we go. Kingfishers with the ball in hand. The Kites have walked out to bat. Bavuma and Smuts are there. And lots of work to go. They're going to have to tee off from ball 1 here. There's no time for them to stick around, really.
Stumps went everywhere.
They've got to put on 100 odd runs here, more than 100 runs.
He'll be
to try and get back on top of this game. So we have to wait and see what happens here. Shut down the
First ball just tucked off.
comes down the pitch. You'll try and push there for 2. They don't get them, so slow start off, but Vuma showing his intent, coming down the pitch nice and early. He's Smuts going to have a dip here from ball 1. There's
He's
no
a
other
guy that's
option
got a lot of
here, to be
skill.
honest.
He's up and coming, and probably one of the exciting prospects for South African cricket going
we have
forward.
to wait and see what they can do. But
like I said to you, he's bowled a hot spell a few times, and yeah, he can definitely crank it up.
Some young fast bowlers on show today. Tando Ntini, Gerald Kutsia, Glenton Stearman, up and coming talent.
right, so
Shooting a platform in Solidarity Cup.
and there we go.
Slow ball option. John Smuts not getting hold
Okay,
of it.
Steelman with the ball in hand at the moment.
He does great work out to the long on boundary.
I think John's prepared for the shuttles that he's going to be doing.
So let me just start the scoreboard for you guys so you guys can see what's going on.
Yeah, beautiful delivery. Van der Dussen went into his channel,
Yeah.
but it was a good Yorker.
So yeah, Glenn Steelman with the wicket, the ball of the Rams slam delivery of the day, as they would say, in the first inning. So two singles here, so a good start for the Kingfishers. Oh, that's
Up in the air. I
I don't think it's got all of that. That should be caught. That should be caught. Tell me, man. English
Early
is
wicket
left
for
me.
Stearman again.
That should be
He's
caught,
having a
and
great
Steelman makes the
day.
breakthrough, and that is Mavuma gone. And obviously, yeah, there we go. Has to go for it. And I mean, the Kingfishers are playing for
Looked
more
like
than
he
just
towed it a little bit.
the gold. Obviously, there's
Yeah,
3
good
different
movement
things you
from
can get.
Mr.
So
Hendricks on the boundary
you know,
against
everybody
this
wants to
man,
win,
quite
but you
easy.
definitely don't want to lose in this
You
match.
know, these catches
So
coming in at pace aren't
yeah, at this
easy
stage for
to
these
take,
two,
and he
this
made
is
it look
almost an
very,
opportunity
very
for them to
simple.
say, all right, well, if we're not going to win, you know,
Just
let's make
missed
sure
time
that we
on
come
Timber there.
second. And a good breakthrough from
But big
Steelman.
moment in the game with David Miller coming in now.
Vuma goes trying to go big. He made
hitting
9
Miller.
of 9. And here comes, well, I'd imagine it will be Dave Miller. And it's going to have to be Miller time if they're going to want to do something special here. If you're watching, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Go to foreversports.net and you can enter the competition to win an ODI, printed ODI jersey. Hopefully a lot more exciting giveaways coming up in the future for Forever Sports, so make sure you follow us on all our various social media handles. Lots of cool things coming your way very, very soon. So thank you to everybody who has liked, subscribed, watched and shown their support so far. Really appreciate it. Yeah, it is Dave Miller who's come into the attack. Stearman with drop ball, and what an over this is. 4 balls, 2 runs and 1 wicket. And Stearman, I mean, this could be an over that just takes Dave, takes the kites out of the game completely. So Smuts going to have to connect with a few here, and Dave Miller, he's going to have no opportunity to get. He's going to have to go from ball 1. They've got 100 odd runs that they need to get in what's basically 5 overs.
And he's executing his plans perfectly against Stearman.
There comes Stearman again. And that's down the ground. That should be a 4 runs. Okay, so that's finds the boundary. He moves to 41 off 22 balls. That's what they're going to have to do, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately, but yeah, these bowlers are going to have to know that they're going to have to go for it. So, yeah, straight, and Smuts just puts them straight down the ground for 4. And let's hope for a safe game. The next ball also finds the boundary, so we've got a bit of a good finish on our hands.
Yeah, stayed nice and low. Managed to generate power from a really strong base. Good position. Needed that. They need a whole lot of them.
And that skews off that on the single. What an over from Glenton Stearman. 7 runs off it and a wicket. So that's brilliant. And suddenly the kites.
2 for 16, 65 for
Well,
2.
Smuts keeps the strike. He's on 42 of 23, but they're really going to have to go for it now. There's no hanging around. It'll be interesting to see who comes into bowl. But another over like that, and they are out of the game really. They're chasing a mammoth total of 150. I don't want to lie to you. There we go. They're chasing 160. So 161 to leave into first place. So they're going to need another 91 runs.
All to do for the Kingfishers and the Kites. The Eagles catapulted by Markham and the
Villiers
Villiers to 160 for 4.
But yeah, so Markham and the Villiers, the 2 top scorers, 160 for 4. The Eagles landed up, and the Kites are currently 65 for 2. So lots and lots
just
of
what
work
they
to
didn't
go.
want. The Villiers and Markham in full flight, making things tough for the particular the kites
I've
now
got a
trying
seamer
to get
coming
over
in. Here
the
comes
160
Consolidating.
mark.
What can he do?
Have an
Just one
opportunity
over
to
in the
win
first
today.
innings for 13 runs, which isn't good. I think they'll take 13 runs. With the Kingfishers. Let's see what he can do here. Smuts on strike.
Maybe the Villiers.
And these balls need to start
catch
disappearing
down.
sooner. They're going to have any chance of winning it. Ooh,
Starts well again here. Nice
misses
and
that one,
straight.
hits the pads, and that's a
Not
drop
allowing
ball. Well
any
bowled,
width
Mr.
for freedom of
Tanduantini.
arms.
Exciting young prospect for South Africa.
It's really
again.
good
He's
to
made
see
the
the
move
youngsters
up
playing
to-
well today.
to
Gerald could see a
Victoria's
ball
made the
really
move
well
up
in the
to
first
the
innings. Tanduantini's a good start
and I
here.
think anybody
You know,
that
this-
visits
this-
the
this-
Highveld will
At the moment, given the fact that we've had to
We'll
sort of
get a lot
suspend
of
the season
confidence
effectively
bowling
a
in the
year,
conditions
now's a
that
really
they
good
can
time
bowl
to
in
check
yet
out the
and to win.
youngsters.
But
Ryan
he's young.
Nicholson didn't
I
quite
think
come
he's
off,
getting
but it's
quicker.
good
I
to see
faced him last year and I
Tanduantini
faced him
bowling well.
this year and he's
Glenn
definitely got
Stearman's
quicker.
been
So
great.
very
Gerald
exciting
could see look
prospect
good in
for
the
South
first
Africa.
innings, first half. Oh, he picked that up. That should
Picks up
disappear.
left side. John
That'll be
strikes.
6. Onto the bank.
In the
Thank you very
channel,
much.
friend.
Fixed it off his pads. That's a John
Excellent
special.
stroke.
He moved on to
Powered
48.
over the square leg
What a shot
boundary.
that is. And that's what they're going to need
Johnny
to do.
just
Current
using
run
the
rate
pace
is
beautifully.
9.68.
The
They're going to
angle
have
into
to
leg
up
start,
that
but
a
he's
lot.
just rolled the wrists nicely and let the ball do the work off the bat.
Yeah, just completely takes the uses the
Really
pace,
strong
flips it off his
grip
legs
of
all
that
the
bottom
way.
hand. Really
Well played by John
squeezes
John.
it, picks it up. We've seen some big hits here today, Chris.
Absolutely. I tell you what, it doesn't look like the boys haven't been playing cricket. Looks like they've been playing a bit of golf
Yeah, I
in the
mean, you can talk
off-season.
about field pace and stuff like that.
Absolutely
But the amount of
smoking
sixes we've seen today, it's been some really good batting across a couple of individuals, and Smuts has been one of them. Ooh,
Over the
that
offside,
hasn't quite
chance,
hit
deep
up the
boundary.
middle, and he's out. There it is.
The catch.
Continue with the breakthrough.
That will
Duplessis
disappoint
takes the
the
catch.
guys.
That's
John
Smuts
John
out.
Smuts, 48 of 25. He
That's a
was
massive
getting
breakthrough.
going.
That could be game set
That's a big wicket.
for the Kites.
Keep the Kites
Dave Miller
under
still there,
pressure.
but Tanduantini with the breakthrough gets hit for 6. Comes back.
Tanduantini
I think it's a
created
slow
few
walk from the
chances
looks of
today
it.
and finally gets his first one.
Smash doesn't
Yeah,
get
good
through.
bowling from
Doesn't
Tando
play
there.
very well.
Getting
Squeezed
out of
out
John
to
John strike zone on the
deep
leg
extra
side.
cover and happens
He's
to
bowling a
see on
slightly
the round.
wider
He takes
off
a
front
very
there,
comfortable
forcing him to
catch.
play over the offside.
And
it's gone
Kingfishers
straight
doing
to
well here.
50%
I mean,
on the
if they-
boundary.
if-
We know he does not drop many
If they're not
catches
going to
at
get first, they're going to make sure they
Loves
come
that
second
tall grip
and
to receive.
make it. And this is
Catching
their
with
chance
fingers
to
up.
limit Kites to a
Safe
score that's
hands.
more achievable. And then when the Kingfishers
John
start
John
to
Smuts
bat,
gone
you know,
for
they can sort
48.
of go for
Kites
second
71
place.
for 3.
And what could be quite interesting is when you if you took this format and you created a point system, you can start having tournaments.
Players
And
all
you can
trying
have
to
like
work out
6
strategy.
teams playing 2
Here's the
matches,
best
and you
line
can
to
start
bowl,
saying,
as you
right,
say.
6 points
Staying
for
away from the leg
first,
side option of
4
John
points for
Smuts.
second, 2 points for
Making
third.
try and generate power.
And suddenly
over
you
the
could be in a
offside and it works
situation where you are
Dwayne
playing
Pretorius coming in
for
now. Walking in with
points,
his sledgehammer
and
that
you know you
we
need
used to call it
to
back in the
maybe
day.
coming second
If
is
anyone
enough,
could hit
and
a
then you have
big
to start
six, it's this
thinking
man on
when
screen
your
right now.
tactics,
So
not necessarily about the win,
two big
but
hitters
how
at
do
the
we
crease
make sure
for-
that the one team
for
comes
the
last?
Kites. And
That's a
they're
whole
going to have to
different
make some big moves to
dynamic
catch,
and dimension
catch
added to the
the
game.
Eagles.
Dwayne Pretorius comes out to bat.
100%. If
He
they're gonna
can
have
hit a long
chance, you
ball. We
think it's
saw
gotta
him
be
in the
these
Zone
two.
Super League final. He's done it for the Polar Rocks. He's done it for South Africa. Smuts had a really good effort, but let's see what Dave Miller can do. Oh, and that's
Beautiful.
this first
Nice
up.
high
What
action.
an over from Tanduantini. Good
Round of
return.
applause from Mackay
Got tipped for
out
6
here.
earlier, but he's
Got
come
ball
back
playing
really
best.
strong.
An angle, almost angling away from the left-hander from around the wicket. Very good angle.
It's a really good
Misses
carry
out
there.
Dave Miller looking to
from
punch it
Tando.
down on the ground.
Miller caught at the crease. Maybe hanging back for something short.
Right, 2 balls remaining. Let's see what
Good over from
Tanduantini can
Tini,
do. If he can keep these
7.4.
two without boundaries, then
Settings.
suddenly the Kites are
2
in
left
big
in this
trouble.
over. Can he close it down?
That should be 4 runs.
Miller just using the
And
pace
is,
there.
yeah, we've seen that
overhit
shot
it.
coming quite a lot, and I
Only
think
the
that'll
6
be
fielders, so
interesting in
there are
terms
lots
of
gaps,
tactics.
and Miller just
You know,
using
do you
that
start
third
putting
man
in
opportunity.
a almost
Run it down
a
beautifully.
wide
He's off
third
the
man?
mark.
Because unfortunately, with
Very
no
clever
fine level
from
straight
Dave.
man,
Prefers
anything
ball
with
for
width,
pace
and
and
they
a
can
little bit of
just
extra
guide
pace, so he's
for
waited
4.
nicely
And
for
that's
this
been done a
just to
couple
run it
times.
down.
You know,
He
it's
knows the
been a
answer
very
fielders.
easy outlet, especially against all the
Sometimes I
seamers.
feel in
All
this
the
game
players,
it's
all
not
they have
about
to
the
do is
brute
put
force,
their
it's
bat in
about
the way,
tactics,
get a
as
little
we
bit
saw
of
from AV
contact,
de Villiers earlier on, so
and it's a boundary every time.
very
So.
well thought from Dave there, just
Yeah,
trying
this
to
is
get
the
down
sort
into
of
pace.
thing that this format generates.
Yeah, you just gotta get some rhythm in
if
the
we are
bets
going
in
to do
two
something
innings.
like this, what
That
do you
confidence
learn?
flying, get the
And
bowlers under
immediately what
pressure.
we're learning is
That's
that
certainly what they need, the Kites.
a guide
A lot of work
or
to do.
late cut basically. And there we go. Throws his hands through it. That should only be a single.
Comes back for the two.
Oh, he's gonna mix up. He's gonna mix up. He's gonna mix up, and he's back safely.
He gets home.
Miller went to the 2, Pretoria sent him back, just the one. Wasn't over there is from Tandon, just 11 from it and no wicket. Brilliant stuff from the youngster. His economy for the match is 12 so far. And that's a really, really good showing. I'm sure he'll get a third over. That's a great showing from the youngster. I'm sure Dad is very chuffed up there, Micaiah. Tandon looks like a really exciting player. He is young, 20 years old. He could hold a bat, which Micaiah couldn't. So
Got a
it
feel at
looks
this
not
time
really
that those
exactly the
twos need to
same
be
as
taken,
Spark,
especially with the amount of Miller's pace.
So that the two people are going to emulate
Would
that.
have
kind
easily
of,
got there, in my opinion, but
quality
end of the
performance.
day, if you're not comfortable with the
But
run,
let's see.
you've
So
got to turn
yeah,
the
John
man
done
back
much for the
and-
bulk of the work. He scored 48.
That's
After that,
exactly what
Rippleton with
happened.
10,
But I
Bavuma
tell you
with
what,
9, Miller with
It's
5.
probably the bowler that I'm most
So it
excited
really
about for
hasn't
in
been
South
a
African cricket as a
particularly
youngster.
good team effort so far. But Miller and Pretorius
Gerald
with
could see
4
how he can
overs
generate a lot of pace, this young
to
man.
try and do some
really strong
damage here.
action and, bright future ahead of him.
In terms of bowlers, Steven's got 1, Tandotini's got 1, Gerald Coetzee has
Definitely
got
a
2
talent
to
to
bowl.
come out of the South African under 19
Shams
team.
did 1 to bowl, and Reza Hendricks, who's Connie's actually 7, who's also got 1. So it'll be interesting to see if he decides to bring himself on for a ball.
Excellent youngsters.
There comes Gerald Coetzee. Ooh, and that's a wide first up.
Initially for the wide Yorker to Miller.
Trying to go for the wide Yorker, misses his
Good tactic from Jerry.
his line and goes too wide there. That's
difficult to set the
a
field
wide.
for
That's a good
that
start
with only
from
8 players,
the
but
Kites.
very
Miller on
difficult
strike, he's
skill
going to have to go for
execute
it. This
straight
over's
away,
going to have to
and
disappear.
unfortunately just pushed it out.
With Coetzee's pace, I mean, Coetzee was very good in the first innings at bowling it line to line. So let's hope he returns to that because that's what worked for him.
Remember,
But here we go. So let's
Ladies Eagles got up to
not a ball bowled yet because the
160.
first one was
Two
an
innings
extra. So let's see what we can do
6.
here.
That's the target. Miller,
Oh,
leg
he
side,
clips it
in
out.
the
That'll be
gap,
4 runs.
will get
That's
4.
well played. Tries to bowl over straight,
Speedy
and Miller
over.
just works straight through mid wicket for
Kites
4.
get
That's
some
exactly what the
momentum
Kites
going,
need. This over is going to have to
It has
disappear
to be
for
the over,
15,
I think,
16,
Graham.
20
It's,
runs. They're going to have
gotta
any
get
chance of
they've got to
putting
get
on a.
moving, and they've got to get moving
sorry,
at a
they're gonna have
serious
to get
clip.
100
And
after
like I said
the end of
before,
this
there's
over.
2 guys that can do it. It's the 2 men at the crease.
But I mean, it's possible.
But
If
Miller
Miller
gets
does
going,
get
we've seen how
going,
destructive he
anything's
can
possible.
be.
Can
And,
see it just missing
yeah,
the
I think he's
getting
missed
into
it
the
there.
line
It's
there.
almost gone for 6.
In the
So
slot,
I think
and
fasten your seatbelts. This could
Miller
be
just
fun.
takes says thank you very much
Not
on
an
the
easy
half
one for the
volley,
youngster.
pulls it across the mid
Powerhouse
wicket.
batsman. Testing all your skills as a bowler and your thinking.
There comes Coetzee again. What's Miller thinking? Sits himself in the crease. Slow ball.
The change up definitely beat Miller.
Only get one.
in the
That's
air.
what's well. Ball
Recovered and
didn't pick the slower ball. Gave himself a
punched
bit
it
of
up
room.
the
Wanted to
ground.
try and go
Well
through the
off.
cover
He
reach,
does the work out there.
but didn't quite pick the slower ball up in time to be able to move it. And just a single there, which brings Dwayne Pretorius on strike.
Yeah, very good change of pace. I think for
Hope
someone,
everybody's into the
someone
competition.
with
Not too
pace
long
to
until we draw for
drop his
the
pace like that and to get it to dip
early
like
our
that, that's
shirt
the
for the
most
pro
important thing.
shirt that we're giving
Yeah,
away.
well executed
It's
and
been really, really cool to see how many
did
people
Miller
have been getting involved and
quite
entering
nicely.
and stuff like that, and hopefully we can do a lot more
Pretorius' first
competitions in the future.
No time to
But
get
let's see what
yourself
Dwayne
in,
Pretorius
yeah.
has got for us today.
Inside
Oh, that's
edge,
it for
good delivery.
inside edge, past the keeper. He'll take runs wherever he can get them. That's what they
Nothing you can do
need.
about that.
3 balls bowled,
Ah, as a bowler,
9
it's
off. A
painful
good
to
start to
watch,
the
but as
over.
the
Very
batter,
good
I mean,
start. If this
every
over
single
can go
run
for
counts,
18,
and,
20 runs, then suddenly they're
We've seen
looking a
that
little
happen so
bit
many
better.
times in cricket. Executed nicely in the Yorker. And
Doesn't matter where you get them. The Yorker wasn't too bad.
another sticker on that
Completely
off
inside
stump
edge,
and
beats the
we would have
keeper. It's
seen
actually
some
pretty
bang.
well bowled to be fair to him. Sitting on about fifth
Always
stump,
frustrating.
quite full.
Fielding team, the bowler in particular, when that happens, because you've done a good job, you've executed well. And a luck on Pretorius' side gets him off the mark first ball.
Very impressive stuff here from Coetzee. Just 19 years of age and doesn't look out of his depth at all. Oh, well bowled, drop ball.
Some good thinking in this over, some good strategy.
Torres trying to go over the keeper there. He's picked the short ball, wants to just guide it over, but completely misses out, and that could be detrimental. These 2 balls
trying
might
to keep
just be
Pretorius on his toes and thinking.
good pace there, but Torres
I
just
think
thinking he'll
sometimes that's a
guide it,
ball
doesn't
that
quite get
that
there.
gets forgotten about in the shorter formats. I think a lot of emphasis is put
And I
on
think
Yorkers as it should be.
you got to credit
But sometimes that change up of
Gerald Coetzee
the
for
short ball can win you a dot ball like it did in his
the
last
trying
ball
thing.
now.
You know,
So
he hasn't been afraid
bounces out
to
of play.
put in
Let's
the
see
short
what
ball.
happens
He's bowled a wide Yorker. He's bowled in the slot. So he's not tried. Not afraid.
Beautiful
That
change
would
up
just be a
again.
2 if they run
Again,
hard.
Pretorius come back this time.
Yeah, they're going to go for it.
But he does.
Yeah, good running from Dave Miller.
Drops his
Um,
bat. Also,
yeah,
it's
I
all
mean,
happening out in the middle.
Coetzee has backed himself and he's bowled quite a lot of variation. He's bowled a wide Yorker and he's bowled on stump to stump. He's bowled a short ball. He's not afraid to try things. Hasn't just run in and bowled wicket to wicket and tried to keep things tight. He has tried to
Very
keep
good
things.
changer from Gerald Coetzee there, following a really sharp
And he's
bounce
bowled well,
off the slower
and
ball. It's
good
clever
outing for the
thinking there from
youngster.
young
And
man.
for somebody that's such an exciting prospect, it's really good to see that he doesn't look out of his depth. And the
Tell you, top
Perfect.
over. A little bit unlucky, but
balls,
executed well.
balls it inside into Dave Miller. He can't get it into Pretorius, and that's just a single. And what an over from the youngster. Kite's currently 89 for 3 after 9 overs, and yeah, well done to Gerald Coetzee. That's a very well bowled over.
Beautiful winter's day in Pretoria. There's the the scorecard. The Eagles, the team in goal position at the moment, and sitting at 160.
So Eagles 160 for 4, Kites currently 89 for 3. They've got 3 overs to try and find 70 runs. I don't really see it. You have to go 25 runs and over, yeah. So mathematically, possibly, mathematically very unlikely. The goal target is 161 for that gold medal. So I think the Kites at the moment will probably be looking to see how many runs they can put on, just to try and make sure the Kingfishers don't catch them. And the Kingfishers are going to come out and have to go all hell for leather, to be honest. There comes Shamsi.
Into the attack. His captain Reza Hendricks used him in 2
Victorious
overs.
just stands and delivers. That's a good start. Oh, he gets it! What a catch from the rain. Let's go. That's in the high reels. The rain catcher comes down with the net, with the catch. Celebration comes out. Put him in the outfield, I'll tell you. What a cute piece of fielding that is.
Moved beautifully down the bank and caught it deep in that net.
Shamsi drags one down. Pretoria's eyes lit up.
He gets it. Oh, what a catch. Well played, sir. And again, another drag down.
Chance at mid-on.
Oh, straight through.
Seen a few drop catches today.
Tandantini misses it.
Tini.
And that's back-to-back sixes for all the Kites. What a start this over this from Victorious. This one probably should have been taken straight through the hands. And Tini came in too quickly. The ball got up.
Could this be the over, Graham? Started off
Jumps up,
perfectly
ball
for the
goes straight
Kites.
through his hands and goes for 6.
Drop the
Doesn't
catch
look
and
very
goes
good
for 6. It doesn't
in
get worse
slow
than that for
motion
the
there for
bowler.
I tell you what,
Tandantini.
that's a spectacular drop
Makaya,
catch,
let's hope that you can work with him there as well. Field. Oh, that's that's been playing straight over. Sorry,
Catch
this is
down
with
the
that
ground,
camera angle.
generates a lot
That's
of
3
power
boundaries in a row.
Pretorius.
Victorious is going for it. He's gone 6-6-4, and that is 16 and 3 balls. This is it. This is the turning point. If this over goes for 20-30 runs, suddenly game on, you know. And that's been the perfect start for Victorious. That's 3 boundaries in a row. Let's see what he can do now. They're running hard. They're running for 2. They're running 2. They want 2. They should get 2. Oh, they'll definitely get 2 with the bubble.
Misfield helps him. Stearman working hard.
Didn't quite find the boundary there, but still a very good over. At this stage, the projected score is suddenly up to 133. Running out of time, but 2 big boundaries here, and anything can happen. Oh, that's big. That is big. That is a brilliant shot. Dwayne Pretorius. Oh, another catch. Brilliant. I'll tell you. Any club cricketers out there looking at, go and call these rain fetches. That is 2 brilliant catches on the banks there. You granted they've got the young trusty net out. What a catch in the deep there.
Yes, over he's travelling. Shamsi not having the best day.
Well, and Pretorius has just turned this game around.
Now Pretorius making it count.
Good catch there. And that'll be 4 runs again. What an over. That is the over. 3 sixes, 2 fours. That is 28 runs in the over. Game on. 117 for 3. 2 overs. These 2 overs will have to disappear for 30 plus, basically.
Yeah, not a good over from
But
Shamsi.
game on, really. And that's a poor over from Shamsi. Another drag down to finish it. Not a good over there from his team key spinner. He goes for 56 runs at 3 overs. So, yeah, look, Shamsi won't want to rewatch those highlights. To be fair, Tandantini could have taken the catch. The second ball could have been a different story. But what an over that is, 28 runs, and there's a very big skyscraper in that Manhattan.
There we go. They've been struggling a little bit, the Kites, but Pretorius...
So a big over here. This over disappears for 50 runs, and they're back, I mean, even 26 runs, and they're back into it. If they can repeat the similar over, then this suddenly becomes game on. Eagles a bit worried. I mean, how much is this with this stuff for the Eagles? They could walk out. It's very well bowled by Stearman. That's a 1 off the first ball. Perfect start there. Miller couldn't quite get under that. Very good Yorker first up. I mean, the Eagles, if the Kites miraculously beat their total, would walk out to bowl without being able to win. I mean, imagine going out to bowl and literally not being able to win. Not even unlikely. Not even. You know, it's going to be tough. They will not be able to win. So.
Most of the time they've hit it, and it's in a pressure situation.
But that's a very well bowled. I think Stearman's probably been the bowler of the day. 2 for 17.
Like I say,
he's bowled really well.
Bowled
good Yorkers. Let's see if he can finish. Dwayne Pretorius is strike. He's on 35 of 10. Oh, well played. Well played. Dwayne Pretorius, take a bow. Gives himself
That's okay.
space.
Just tickle
Stearman
it over
follows
the
him,
keeper's head.
and he just
Great
glides
touch
over the
from
top.
Pretorius.
Very
You
well
could say
played.
he's a touch
Pretorius
away.
39 for
It was good
11.
to
What
see.
a knock this is turning out to
Keeps
be.
surprising us. No, that's a seriously well-adjusted shot from Dwayne.
Mark
there.
Boucher will be watching this going. That's
And,
right. That's what I want to see from my
yeah, just
all-rounder.
using the pace beautifully.
I think Pretorius is very underrated with
He's
the bat.
making
He's
the play
played,
for
he's
his
played some
team,
very
though,
good
Chris.
knocks over many years. And this is once again showing that the capability. You can have a chat with Lloyd at the innings break, and we'll see what
Yeah, it's not worth putting up a graphic showing what they require to get.
what Stearman's got. I mean, what the Pretorius has got. Okay, here comes Stearman again. Oh, he doesn't quite connect that. That's in the gap. They should get 2. I mean, Pretorius 41 of 12. 7 off the over. These 3 balls need to disappear. Kites move to 124. If they can get this to close to 140 and give themselves a chance, I think they need another sort of 15. They need, yeah, if we can get a 6 or 4, 134. Yeah, jeepers, it's just suddenly become a bit of a game here. But these 3 balls are going to have to travel. Let's see what Stearman can do. Well bowled, very well bowled. That's brilliant. Yorker in the body, only gets 2 runs there, and unless these 2 balls travel, I think the Kingfishers have done enough to restrict them to below the Eagles' target at least. No, that won't be a boundary. So it might be able to get. No, that's they'll have to try and go. No, they'll just take the signal. That could be it. I mean, look, mathematically, if this ball does travel for 6, they will need 27 runs in the last over. But unless this goes to the boundary, yeah, I think it's game over for the Kites. But what they have shown, and the Kingfishers, yeah, sure, they're starting 2 runs less, is that anything's possible. You have one big over it defines cricket. And just as Pretorius just showed there. Let's see what Dave Miller can do. Oh, that is a brilliant over. Well bowled, Glenton Stearman. That was quick onto Miller's front foot. They get a single there. 128. Yeah, that's pretty much game over. They're going to need 33 runs in the last over. So unless the first ball disappears for 6 or for 4, they are out of there. What an over that is from Glenton Stearman. What a match for him. My pick of the bowlers. I mean, that is just. I mean, he hit his Yorkers there almost every time, and that was an unplayable ball. Very well played by Glenton Stearman. Yeah, he's definitely one. I mean, he's 27 years old, so not old by any means, and he could have a very bright future ahead of him. That's very well bowled. 3 overs, 2 for 26. What a spell that is. Nokia 2 for 27. Stearman, very, very well played. He can be very proud of that effort. Right, last over of the Kites innings, and all these balls have to travel. Pretorius is there, 44-14. What can he do? Tando and Tini in. And that's pretty much, that's it. That's the game, basically. Well, not the game, but that's it for Kites. A single off the first ball, well bowled in Tando and Tini. He's managed to do it. They can't, Yeah, well, that's it really. Barring a few extra stuff like that, that's the Kites' chance of winning on. Yeah, down the ground. That'll probably be 4 runs. Yeah, 4 runs. Pretorius goes. Now this is all about for the Kites. This is all about making sure they can get as far ahead of the Kingfishers as possible. First is out of their reach, but there's no reason that they can't take the silver medal. But yeah, decent. I mean, very good effort from Dwayne Pretorius. Yeah, and if nothing else, he has a chance to put some 3-team stats. I mean, does that mean we're going to have a whole different section when it comes to cricket stats? We're going to have ODIs, T20s, Test cricket, 3-team. Well, balls back in the Yorker. The Yorkers have been good today. I think the fast bowlers can take pride in the fact that they've nailed their Yorkers when they've wanted to bowl them. which stands them in good stead. So Kingfishers will resume on 56 for 2, and they're going to have to try and chase 160 by the Eagles. Let's see what the Kites will post as the second place, as the silver medal score to beat. 3 balls remaining. That should go all the way. Oh, well placed. I'll stop. Is that 50%? Very well fielded there. Pretorius, well, will he be able to get his 50? Currently on 49 of 16. What a knock that is. I mean, jeepers. And we've seen, and we all know that he's a bit of a power hitter when he wants to be, but that is a brilliant knock from Dwayne. And a good piece of fielding here from 50%. Right, 2 balls left remaining. And Dave Miller will just get a single there. So Pretorius gets a chance to get his 50. What a knock from Pretorius. Kites 137 for 3, which will, so whatever they score this last delivery, that will be the second place target for the Kingfishers to chase. Pretorius smokes it out there. Will he go on? No, he will just scamper through for the single. Very well played for Pretorius. Right, so second place, Kites 158 for 3. That will be the silver medal total to chase. And what an innings. Dwayne Pretorius 50 or 17. Take a bow. Me and Lloyd will jump on now and have a chat quickly. But yeah, I mean, we were talking about whether can he be a genuine all-rounder for the Proteas, and that just demonstrates it. Let's try and get Lloyd back in here and have a chat about what we just saw. All right, let's get Lloyd in here. Lloyd!
Stephen,
How was that?
really, really good cricketer.
I mean, we were just saying, is Dwayne Pretorius the best all-rounder in South Africa? Cheapest, 50 or 17 isn't a bad way to answer that question, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is definitely our best all-rounder in the country at the moment.
Now let's talk about, obviously Dwayne Pretorius, it was very impressive and we know how good he can be with the bat. But let's talk about the bowlers. I mean, how is that from Glenton Stearman? 3 overs, economy of 8.267, 2 wickets. 2 for 26 in 3 overs. That's a hell of a performance.
Yeah, I mean, especially to the guys he was bowling to. He's bowling to David Miller, who is very experienced. He's bowling to Dwayne Pretorius, who has been playing extremely well. And he made them look very uncomfortable. So he was quite impressive. And I was also really impressed with Tini as well. He seems to be getting his lines right, and his execution was on point.
Yeah, I also think, Ntando Tini, I think, is someone he's grown a lot this last season with Cobras. Also think Gerald Coetzee looked quite good. What I liked about Ntando Tini and Gerald Coetzee is that they weren't scared to try a few things. Tini was very much sort of trying to bowl wicket to wicket, but Coetzee bowled a short ball. He tried a wide Yorker. He wasn't afraid to try things. So it's good to see youngsters come in here and not go into their shell. They've got a chance now to impress. Tini's 20 years old. Coetzee is 19. So they've got a chance to impress some selectors and stuff like that, and they haven't gone into a shell. They've actually been quite comfortable in trying to demonstrate what they can do.
Yeah, no, definitely. Although actually one person who did not impress me today was Shamsi. He looked quite rusty, and I think he had an over that he bowled. He dragged down 5 of his deliveries, and Pretorius did not waste any time with those ones.
Yeah, look, I suppose. Shams, when it comes to a leg spin, they always talk about how when you bowl a leg spin, it's such a rhythm thing, and you have to bowl so many overs and stuff like that. You can't just pitch up and bowl it, and you have to practice and you have to bowl lots of overs. So let's hope it's a bit of a rust. Because the thing with Shamsi is that I suppose he continues to frustrate because he can bowl overs like that where it just disappears. But I mean, during that Australian series, I thought he was very, very good, and he did stand up in the wake of leaving the ODI side. He did stand up and say that he can take it up. So Shamsi's a frustrating one, but do we persist with it? Does he become our number one limited overs spinner?
It's actually a tricky one. Also depending on Tahir. I don't know what is the situation with Tahir at the moment.
As far as I understand, he'll still play T20 cricket, not ODIs. But I mean, I think he's already 40 years old. So one imagines that he'll try and maybe feature for the World Cup next year, but that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, at the moment we don't seem to have a good pipeline of spin. The only two guys I could think of who can play are Shamo and Beyond Futin. And I do not see any, sort of spin we're looking at in the future. So that might be something that CSA might want to address.
Well, I mean, do you think that, I mean, we saw Surendra Murasamy playing in the test, but I mean, also someone like Maharaj, do you think we could see him in the limited over setup?
To be honest, I do not think so. He really keeps his lines, which is really good for Test cricket. But in terms of white ball cricket, he does not seem to be Tahir or Shamsi quality for me. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have too many options in terms of limited overs. But domestic cricket will pull through something new, and I'm actually looking forward to what's new we can fish out in terms of spin.
Yeah, and I think leg spin is one of those things where it sort of went through a bit of a phase where everybody said, you have to have a leg spinner. And suddenly, India, all the teams suddenly had leg spinners. But I think that finger spinning in the one-day format is definitely coming back in a certain regard. So I think it will be interesting to see if we continue to keep prioritizing leg spin, or if we will start seeing more off spinners starting to play a better role. Because I think that off spinners have had to adapt with T20 cricket and everybody going after them. They've had to adapt to bowling new lines, trying different things. Almost like developing new deliveries, varying their pace a lot more than they used to. So it will be interesting to see if leg spin or off spin becomes the sort of the priority in terms of what we want in our limited oversides.
Yeah, no, definitely. I just think the other thing as well is because our domestic cricket really does not prioritize spin. Simmers are really rated high up, but you don't get a lot of people who are talked about who bowl spin. And I mean, also our pitches as well are simmer friendly, so spin does not get that much exposure. So that's why, guys like Makram, when they leave South Africa and play in India, they suddenly don't look their best at all because they're facing something new. Spin is really something new. They never face it in domestic cricket. So I think it's something we can improve, starting from our pitches, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you look at Durban, and Durban's become quite a spin-friendly pitch, which has been very poor for Test cricket, but I suppose it's quite useful in domestic cricket in terms of being able to prepare. But yeah, I mean, that's why somebody like Zubair Hamza, who has played a couple of tests, he's supposed to be a very good player of spin, and that's why suddenly he's come to the fore, and he's been given a lot of opportunities. So yeah, very interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, here we go. The players back at the pitch. So Lloyd, I'll chat to you afterwards.
All right, cheers.
Cool, enjoy it.
You too, man.
Right, and here we go for the last innings of the first ever three-team cricket. The Solidarity Cup it's been interesting. It's been a very yeah, I suppose it's the first game, so it's always going to be a bit of a trial situation. But yeah, I think it's one of those cases where obviously it is very new, and have to wait and see, and we will see it again. I've no doubt. I don't think you'll see it very often, but I think we will see it. And I suppose it's a case that you've got to sort of keep keep fine tuning it. Maybe a couple of rule changes, until we see exactly what happens here. But here we go. Du Plessis and Coetzee at the crease. They are chasing 161 to win. Let's see if they can manage that. But yeah, I think as a format, I mean, it hasn't been terrible. It's obviously not T20 and it's a bit different. But yeah, I think we just have to wait and see really, and see what will happen. But I think so far I haven't been completely upset with what I've seen in terms of the format itself. And we've got a round out appeal here, but it looks like he is fairly well in. Is he? His Bears? No, his Bears are still on, I think. So it looks like Faf du Plessis has managed to get back for the second. But yeah, I think it hasn't been the worst format, and I think it's something that will take some fine tuning. That's very, very close. Let's see if Faf du Plessis has managed to stay in. Umpire sends upstairs. Yeah, he's in for me, so I think he'll remain. But yeah, what has everybody else thought? What has been the opinion of the format so far? And let's not forget, we are also just 6 overs away from drawing the winner of the Proteas ODI shirt that we promised to give away. We're still looking at a run out at the moment. So this is your last few opportunities. If you haven't already, please make sure you go and enter. You can win a Proteas ODI shirt that will be sent straight to you from us. So visit foreversports.net in order to make sure you are in the running for that. Not out is the decision. Faf du Plessis will continue. Fortain with the ball. Right, let's see if Faf can go big here. He's going to have to go big. They've got very, very little time to get a lot of going. So on the ground out there, they'll push for 2 again, I'm sure. No, just taking the 1. So Gerald Coetzee will take this, and he'll just tee off. I mean, it was interesting that Gerald Coetzee decided to came in ahead of Heinrich Klaassen. So I'm sure this will be a stage of he's just going to tee off here and see what he can do. If he goes out, whatever, they can bring somebody else in. But yeah, thanks to everybody for that's been tuning in over the day. It's been quite a lot of fun. Yeah, I could see I just sort of squeeze it out there. Not too much intent, but reasonable bowling here from William Fortain. It's been a lot of fun. It's been really good to see cricket coming back in South Africa. Let's hope that hopefully that following up this, we'll have a couple of practice T20 matches. I think this was demonstrated that we can play, and if nothing else, maybe let's hope that we can get the franchise teams going again. This has shown. I mean, this has been just shy of 3 teams being able to practice and stuff like that. So when you think of the franchises, that there are 6 franchises. You know, maybe they can start getting their season going, and hopefully in August, September, we can have franchise cricket back. And it means that the Proteas will be involved in franchise cricket. Will also be really good to see. You know, I'd really like to see something like Faf du Plessis going and spending a couple of innings against our domestic team, scoring some runs, getting back into form. So, yeah, big few months ahead for South African cricket. We'll have to wait and see what happens in terms of competition and stuff like that. Faf du Plessis, yeah, I mean, it's just well bowled by Fortain. They're trying to go after him, and they just really can't. And after the first over, just 63 for 2. So they're going to have to really pick that up. Current run rate's 9. Faf du Plessis is having a look at this bat. He reckons it could be broken. But, I mean, that over 7 from it, what an over from Fortain. And the worst possible start for the Kingfishers, who, if they want to go for this win, are going to have to put on now 98 runs in 5 overs, which is a very, very big ask. But let's see. Faf du Plessis has played some very big innings in the past. He's certainly capable. Still, the target's 139. So that's what they are playing to come second. Yeah, big performance so far. But Eden Markham, Villiers scored big. Ray Pretorius 50 not out, 50 or 17 not out. What a knock it was. The bowlers. Leighton Stearman was very good. I thought Tandon Team was quite good. Nokia bowled very nicely. Lungi Ngidi here. Faf du Plessis tries to scoop it, misses out, and that's a dot ball. And yeah, unfortunately for the Kingfishers, not the start they would have wanted. Just 7 runs in the first 7 deliveries, and they need to try and pick this up. Faf du Plessis trying to get a bit clever and scooping it over the top, and he doesn't manage to do that. Because the shot's definitely there. It's fairly low a shot at the moment, I think, given the fact that the fielding restrictions means there's nobody behind. But yeah, if you miss it, then you do look a bit silly. But let's see what Faf du Plessis can go. I'd like to see him just sort of stand and deliver and try and go over the top fairly straight. very strange to see cricket happening at Super Sport Park. And credit to the groundsmen who've managed to repair a pitch. It's been freezing the last few weeks, and they've still managed to get a pitch which has played fairly well. And it does only have to last 36 overs, but and the outfield doesn't look too bad. It's quite green considering the midwinter, not a lot of rain. And there we go. That's Faf du Plessis that we know. He stands and delivers over the top into the stands. Thank you very much. That's landed close to the player's box. What a shot from Faf du Plessis. And that's the thing, that's what people get so frustrated about, is that they see people get inventive and it doesn't come off, and they say, well, play a cricket shot, and the next ball they do, and he just stands there and goes big, and that's exactly what they need. So just a few overs left here in the first ever Solidarity Cup. I think it's been quite cool. I don't think it's a format that'll really carry on to do big things, but it's been a lot of fun. It's been interesting, and you can't knock it after its first game. You have to have an open mind here. Some nice cricket shots played, some nice bowling performances. Good to see some youngsters standing up, and just good to see cricket back here. Let's see what Faf du Plessis can follow that up with. Oh, he's done it again. That's quite high up in the bat, but is it disappearing? Oh yes, good. Like fetch your rabbit. Oh no! So with the camera work, it looked like it was going all the way, but it looks like Aiden Markham has had a catch on the boundary, which has gone over for another 6. So Faf du Plessis really turning on the heat here, and that's exactly what the Kingfishers need. Let's see if we can get a replay, because the camera work, full class, it hits quite high in the bat, so it does go quite high, and it looks like, it would have been a great effort. Aiden Markham pretty much diving over the top, and he completely misses it, doesn't even touch it. But always going for 6 there, and that's back-to-back 6s for Faf du Plessis. What an innings he is starting to build up, and if he can hit a couple more of those, they're suddenly back into it. Oh, that's spanked away. Oh, that's a 6! Oh my goodness, that could be a shot of the day. Just completely flat bats, basically. I don't even know. It's pretty much a mix between a cut and almost like a late on drive. But that's a brilliant shot there from Faf du Plessis. He moves on to 24 of 9. And that's 3 6s in a row. Lungingidi is being taken apart by his former captain. Faf du Plessis came out in support of Ngidi with a very, very well written Instagram post saying he stands by Lungingidi and he's with him. But all I'm saying is that he's shown him no respect there. He's just gone boom, 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 6 6 6. Thank you very much. What does he have more? Gets in the gap. He'll take a 4. Thank you very much. Lungi, I stand with you socially, but on the cricket field, I will take you apart, is what Faf du Plessis is saying. He moves on to 28 from 10 deliveries. Kingfishers could be back in the game here. Right, last ball of the over here. Let's see what Ngidi can counter up. If Faf du Plessis, this chance the boundary, then he misses it. Well, good follow up. Good end to the over, but what an over that was. 22 runs off that over. Faf du Plessis has given the Kingfishers a chance. A slim chance, but a chance. If this next over can disappear for 15-20 odd, they're suddenly right back into it. What an over there. Lungi Ngidi is not chuffed for the life. He's been taken apart by Faf du Plessis. And let's see what Gerald Coetzee will do now on the other end. It's amazing what a big over can do. I always say that one over can define a cricket match, and that could be the over for the Kingfishers. I'm sure KG is sitting at home very proud of the effort as Kingfishers have put on. Obviously can't play today due to personal reasons, and would have been nice to have seen him play, but let's hope we get to see KG back on the park really, really soon. Fontaine starts. Coetzee picks out the field in the deep. No, Faf du Plessis sends it back. He's not going to give the strike to Gerald Coetzee. Coetzee doesn't look bad with the bat. I'm not quite sure why he came out so early. But it'll be really useful if he could become not necessarily a Philander, but just somebody almost like a Stuart Broad, somebody that can hold the bat and can add a few runs here and there, give him a whole different dynamic to his game. Oh, there we go. He's got him, bowled him. He's caught in the crease, almost yorks himself there. Faf du Plessis goes, and is that the Kingfishers' chances out? That's exactly what they needed, and Vaughan Fontaine comes with the breakthrough. He's got 1 for 16 and 2.2. He's bowled brilliantly today. That's it. Well played, well bowled. Yeah, he just waits for too long and the ball dips and suddenly the ball's on his toes and he can't get underneath it. So York's himself there and great delivery from York Patain. And the Eagles, that could be them winning the game back for themselves. Obviously they're defending their total for first place. And Fat Flipsy goes 86 for 3. Heinrich Klaassen, I'm sure, will be the man in now. Right, well, Heinrich Klaassen comes in. He was going to captain the side in the KG Stead before they went back on that and made Reza Hendricks the captain. So let's see if he can get a game going here. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a lot of time. They're going to have to go for it. Batsmen still to come. There's still Tandotini knows how to hold a bat. Shamsi doesn't know how to hold a bat, so we won't give him too. Hopefully, rely on him too much. But just a single off the first ball from Klaassen. And yeah, Coetzee and him are going to have to do something very, very special here if they are to win this game. I don't see it happening. But yeah, so we're just a few overs away from the end, the first ever Solidarity Cup. We're going to be doing the draw very, very soon. So thank you to everybody who stuck it out and watched and been a part of the process and stuff like that. And to the winner, if you're not watching, we'll make sure that we contact you and send you off your shirt. And hopefully lots of prizes and stuff like that in the coming months. We've got lots of exciting content, so it's been really, really cool to see everybody getting involved there. Right, what I think we're actually going to do is we're going to do the draw before the last over, so that we can then sort of wrap up after the game finishes. So if we look at that at the moment, we have had, I don't want to lie to you, three overs left, so 2 more overs until we do the draw. 100 people have entered. Thank you very much to everyone who's done it and shown their support. Looking forward to drawing it and giving the first ever Forever Sports winner. So don't go away, just 2 overs until we do the draw. If you haven't entered, then it's your last chance. You've literally got about 8 minutes left until we're doing the draw, which is going to be very, very cool. So make sure you go to foreversports.net and enter. The draw will be made after the next 2 overs. So not too long to go until we announce our very lucky winner. Petlakar into ball here, 90 for 3. Could see us squirts it out to the long on there. Single start the over. Yeah, the Eagles are it's been a disciplined performance by them. I did say in my preview that they looked the stronger squad and they've really shown it today. I mean, a couple of good performances, individual performances. A.B. Villiers and Markham scoring the bulk of the runs, and then just some very good bowling. Bjorn Fontaine has certainly been the pick of the spinners today. He's bowled brilliantly. Shamsi had a bit of an off day. Now Petlakar, let's see if he can add some pressure to them. We're going to try and push for 2 here. Good to see us coming back, running hard. Good running there. Fortunately, they can't do this in 1s and 2s. I mean, I think they need pretty much 20 they need 20 runs and over. So their ball's going to have to start disappearing very soon, or they're not going to be able to do this. But just 10 balls until we draw the giveaway. 10 balls. You've got 10 balls to get your entries in, people. So if you haven't, foreversports.net, go and enter. There's different ways you can enter to earn yourself a certain amount of entries. But yes, so if you have entered, congratulations and good luck. But let's see what Klaassen's got for us. That's very well played. Just complete. That's a Klaassen special. Turns the bat around. Little reverse. Pounds the boundary rather. 7 runs off the over. They're going to need to get at least another 10, 12 in the over if they're going to stay on track to try and take the victory here. Looking at about 20 runs and over to win. Takes a lot of skill to be able to play that shot. Oh, that's it. Bowled him. Petliquire with the breakthrough. That's what he needs. Black Lives Matter's the Sudanese nice shirt underneath there. Good moment for him. Well bowled, Petliquire. And that is pretty much the game. I think Klaasen goes 97 for 4. The Eagles well on top. And what a performance that is. What a comeback is from Petliquire. Klaasen was trying to get a bit clever, tried to play reverse the ball before, and unfortunately this time around couldn't get the ball away. Wanted to try and go, that's an inside edge, chops on completely, so, you know, bit of luck there for Petliquire, but he'll take any wicket he can get. And the Eagles well on top, and that looks like it's just a matter of time before they take the victory. Just a few more balls until we do the draw for the Project ODI shirt. Thank you everybody for being here, for streaming in, for being part of the whole day. It's been a lot of fun. And yeah, we're going to give somebody a Proteus shirt, which will be really cool and really nice to be able to give them something away today. And yeah, if you'd like to get involved in terms of giveaways, if you want to be part of something like that, please do let us know. You can message us on any of our social media platforms. You can email me on stephen@foreversports.net. If you want to do a giveaway, if you want to do anything with collaboration with Forever Sports, we are always looking for something like that. Tando Ntini walks in, left-handed batsman, 20 years old, and he's got all the work to do. Looking very unlikely that the Eagles will walk this. But just a few balls left, just 14 deliveries remaining. Let's see what Tando Ntini can do. Well, that's a better cricket shot than I've ever seen Makhaya Ntini play, so safe to say. Oh, and there we go. Overthrows. That's pretty poor. Lungi with a bullet arm there. Not very accurate. But a big ask for the two youngsters. 20 years old, 19 years old. I mean, to put in perspective, these two, at the moment, the combined age is 39. A.B. de Villiers is 36 years old. So that's such as the inexperience of the two at the crease. I don't think they'll be able to do something special, but if nothing else, it should be a good experience for them to be out there with such good players around them. And well bowled. Dot ball. He's not quite sure how he missed that. Right, one more over until we do the draw. 2 more overs until the end of the match and the end of the first ever 3-team cricket. I hope everybody's having a very good Saturday. I hope the Braais are going. I hope everybody's enjoying some sport back in South Africa. It's been really cool to watch some South African cricket, and I'm just really glad that it's back. But 2 overs, they need 62 runs, so yeah, it's not very likely. They still can chase 139 if they can get another. If they can get another 41 runs, they can sneak into second place, but even that's not looking very likely. So at this stage, it'll probably be the Eagles that'll take the gold, Kites will take the silver, and Kingfishers will take the bronze, unless the 2 youngsters can put on something very, very special here. We always like a bit of drama at the end. So let's Junior Dalo play there. Oh, it's very well played in the Yorker. We are just 5 balls now away from announcing the winner of our contest. So thank you everybody for entering. We'll do the draw at the end of the over. Let's see what they can do here. 5 balls. Gerald Coetzee on strike. Ooh. He's picked it up. That could be out. That's a 6. That's very well played by Gerald Coetzee. It looked like he almost pulled out the shot. Shows just the power of the youngster. There, pulls it. Didn't even look like he got all of it. And that's 6 runs. And maybe second place is not over yet. Well played by the youngster. Very well played by Gerald Coetzee there. He'll enjoy that. He's been good today. I think both of these youngsters have a very good accounts to them. Oh, that's a wild swing though. Trying to do the same thing to Junior Dalo there. Junior Dalo goes short. 3 balls. People 3 balls until the very casual 6 by Coetzee. As I say, I mean, I think if they connected that was landing in probably Zim. So very well played by Coetzee. He's on 18 of 12 to be fair to him. That's quite a nice little outing. you know, if he can become a decent batsman, then that's a whole new selection thing. But now he is trying to swing 2 dot balls from Junior Daly. You do feel that now if he puts it on the stumps, he will go. Jael Kutsia trying to become the hero, trying to send it into the stands, hasn't quite managed to connect. The head's up. Maybe that 6 has gone to his head a bit, but yeah, a good showing by Kutsia. Like to see him having a go. It's good to see that. Just 2 more balls and we will be doing the draw for the giveaway. So good luck to everybody that's entered. Finally gets one there, and he'll chip into the outfield and they'll get 1 there. Tandon will see the last ball of the over. But yeah, unfortunately it looks like they will have to settle for 3rd place. KG's Kingfishers. The Eagles have been good today though. They bowled well, they batted very well, they posted a daunting target, and they've come now and they've really defended well. So AB de Villiers can be very proud of his team. Last ball of the over, and it's a stop ball. Right, let's do it, shall we? First of all, thank you everybody for entering. It's been a lot of fun the last few days. Lots of entries, lots of people showing their support, which is really cool. So let's do our draw, shall we? Over 100 entries, and let's see what we've got. Right, and the winner of the Proteas ODI jersey is, here we go. So I had a bit of problems with our thing here, but let's go. So the winner of the Proteas ODI jersey is Candice Vincent. So Candice, if you're watching, congratulations, you are the winner of the Proteas ODI jersey. She joined the Fair Sports Club, and that was the winning entry that got to the win. So congratulations to Candice. We will get contact with you soon, and if we can't get hold of Candice, and then we'll do a redraw and give it to somebody else. So don't worry, somebody will receive the shirt. But Candice, if you're watching, congratulations, you are the winner of the ODI jersey. Thank you very much for entering. Thank you everybody for entering. Please don't forget to come back and keep on seeing Forever Sports for more competition wins and in the future. Right, last few balls here, and Kingfishers just getting to the end of the game. They can't win, they can't go second. Just 3 balls remaining, 112 for 4. It's been a good day. A lot of fun, a lot of decent cricket on display. So credit to everybody who's been involved. Credit to CSA for being a bit innovative. Thank you everybody for coming and watching. I'm going to sign off shortly after the last ball. But it's been a good outing, and I think the main thing is just to remember that cricket is back in South Africa, and that's what we want to see. So let's just see the last 3 balls here. Lungi Ngidi to Gerald Kutsia. He has to leave. That's a very good short ball. Bit of chin music to the youngster. Gerald Kutsia doesn't look very happy with life. Lungi Ngidi with a bit of a stare. I think these two are going to probably become bowling partners quite soon. So a bit of rivalry there. That's a nasty bouncer. Very well bowled. Right, 2 more deliveries here. Lungi look good this over. Well, full toss, worked away. That'll just be a single. Right, so last ball of the game coming up. Ngidi's bowled well. It's been a really good day's cricket. Giving the eyes to Gerald Kutsia. Really good to see there. Yeah, really good to see Lungingidi looking really fit here. I think it's so important that he's back for South African cricket, and he's going to be such a crucial player in the years to come. But it's been a lot of fun. It's been really, really good. Last ball of the game. Ngidi to Tandwantini. Tandwantini flicks it over. And he finishes with a wicket. Good catch out there in the deep by Junior Dalla. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. The Eagles take the first three-team cricket outing of the Solidarity Cup. They come and they take the gold place. The Kites take second. And the Kingfishers take the bronze medal. What a game of cricket. What an interesting format. What a day. Good to see everybody back. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'll post the highlights as soon as they come available. So just check back in hopefully like 2 or 3 hours. And as soon as they're available, I'll post the highlights. So they will be up sometime today. So just keep monitoring. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the cricket. I hope you guys enjoyed the watch along. And we'll be back with some very exciting content soon. But to everybody else, have a good weekend. Enjoy your sport, and let's hopefully have them come back and do this again very, very soon. Thanks a lot. See you guys soon.